2, 1.
Begin all prayer.
Look at the air. Look at the hang.
People always debate it. Who's the greatest player of all time? Dumb question. It should be, who's the greatest team of all time?
WGAG Radio.
Sorry, Showtime.
WGAG Radio.
Back to back.
WGAG Radio.
First three-peat.
WGAG Radio.
Even with the flu.
WGAG Radio.
No push-off. WGAG Radio. And my favorite. Radio. Tough to beat that. What? You think there's someone else? Prove it.
Look at the air. Look at the hang time.
So what happens is they saw that whole episode of Genesis. Look at those as Nubian people. The ancient Egyptians saw all that, the whole Adam and Eve story, as the birth of a new race of people who had wars amongst themselves, and the tribe of Abel was born against the tribe of Cain, and Cain deceived him and did wrong by him, and it was supposed to be a fair battle, like if two men get into a ring and they're fighting a martial arts battle because they're supposed to represent their tribe, and like in a circle of iron, I cheat just because I want to win. And when the referee says, take a break, I bite your ear off. Right? And I start to cheat, and I think I should win. But as Cain did not follow the laws of the order that they were trying to be initiated into, but they were being transformed into Elohim. And he never made it. He went the other direction. And in Genesis chapter 4, from 24 to about 28, will tell you the whole story of how he was not respected and how he was transformed into the devil. Because it literally says that if you do the right thing, everything will be cool. But if you persist on violating the laws and going against the laws, then sin lies at the door, and unto you shall be his desire, and you shall rule over him. Meaning, the devil will desire to lure you into his world. Once he gets you into his world, you start perpetrating devilishment. You start having your own parties, in other words. First, you go out with the intent to go to a party to have fun. When you get to a party, you learn how to have parties. Then you're setting up the parties where people are coming to get drunk. So in ancient Egypt, they looked at that whole episode and set as Satuk, and how they worship Satuk, another group of people, and it was a totally different philosophy. When we get down to the Sumerian part of it, the Akkadian or cuneiform part of the doctrine, they're looking at it from the Mizraim chapter. And they're trying to say, if you go back to Genesis chapter 2, you'll find that Cush or Ethiopia is mentioned in the Bible before Genesis chapter 10, which means Cush is mentioned before Cush was born. Right? So therefore, there was Cushites existing around the Nile and around the Tigris-Euphrates Valley before the flood and before Noah was even born. But they have the Bible story where Cush comes out to be a descendant of Noah. You follow? So who is the Cush that we find prior to that? That's because those original people, Cushites, were in Africa. The flood lifted from there, and the boat landed over there in Ararat. It didn't start over there. It lifted from Africa and landed there, and then there was a migration of the tribes trying to get back home. And when Mizraim, who was from that tribe, got back into Egypt, he set up the first dynasty and became known as Namir or Menes. When they say Menes as a substitute name for Namir, they're really saying Masr. And Masr is the word they use for Egypt. And the Jews took it over and called it Mizraim. It's Masr and Mizraim, they're all the same word. And that same Namir, if you saw him in any history, they show you him with his hand like this, grabbing a man's hair, with a club in his hand, right? And on the tablet they have. And he's got a certain kind of crown on, very similar to the one you have on. Then if you see the statue of the god Baal or Baal, they show him standing in the same position with his hand grasped, but there's nobody in it because that was chipped off of the stela. And he had the same club in his hand because Menes was Baal. Baal was Adonis. It's all the same people. And that was the original seed of Cush coming back into Africa. When they came back into Africa, one of the people amongst them that was prominent and strong, name was Ham. Ham. So this Ham breeds a tribe called Hamites or Hamites. Another group who moved further south, or Hamites, become known as Cushites. The ones who stayed up near the Mediterranean Sea become known as Foothites, and later on they become Libya. And the ones who settled to the east of that became known as Mitzrayim, and they later called them Egyptians. So the Hamites became known as the Sudanese, the Cushites became known as the Ethiopians, the Foothites became known as the Libyans, and the Mitzrayim became known as the Egyptians. And these were names given to them by the Phoenicians and the Greeks, because this wasn't in their own language. You follow? So when we start picking up on those stories, we got to understand how those migrations took place and how they got over into the Middle East in order to get back over into Egypt. And when they started in Egypt, they came back in with what? With Sumerian customs. So the original indigenous Tarites, the Nubians, who were pygmies, were overthrown by them. And that's why they show you them as servants to the dynastic periods. And that's where Bes was the chief of the Nubians. And he had the powers of a sorcerer. So they didn't bother him. They kept him, and to this very day in Egypt, they have rituals to Bes. They added it in the language without the T as the Bes. That's how afraid they were, the same way that the Italians were afraid when they went to Africa and got involved with the Yoruba. When they went to Cuba, America messed with Cubans, and they was over there dealing with Santeria. They backed off. They were like, well, they backed off. They took them months just to get Noriega out, and only got him out because he gave up on his voodoo and went to a Catholic church. And that's where they got him. As long as he was working with them Obia or those Obas, they couldn't touch him. So the Tamil who was petrified of Santeria Yoruba, he wouldn't go near those people. So that was a part of our culture. Those original Pathites, which were in tune with the forces of nature, becomes to them voodoo. Whenever you deal with nature and say, well, I acknowledge the great mother of the sea, may you call her Ogun, and the God of the air, and the God of the water, and the God of the earth that grows the food that I eat, and the God of the sun. You know, when you start doing that, they freak out and say, oh, you're a pagan. Meanwhile, they have eased paganism into their religion by going to church on Sunday. If I said they eased it, they're still, and God is the light. They always show Jesus with a big halo over his head or a ring around his head like a sun ray, and that's a symbol of the sun. They're afraid to break away from those spiritual powers. When those people came back from Samaria, they came with all these new costumes on. When they came through Phoenicia, they picked up the headdress of the Iri in Hebrew. Iri is the Hebrew word for lion. In other words, when the people that you meet from Jamaica saying Iri, they're saying lion, right? That headdress was a sign of the Sphinx. Everybody was getting back to the Sphinx because everybody was waiting for that 25,000 year cycle when the constellation of Leo or the lion would come, because the lion would stand up and our so-called history, I have to say history because how they trick the language, or our story would renew itself. And we come back into the knowledge of self and kind, and a transformation from mortality to immortality will start to take place. And the devil can't handle that. This is what was taking place back then. So they were trying to get back across, and they brought in customs. When they got there, they was confronted by the Tarites or the Pathites, the Ethiopian pygmies. And they hated them, so they suppressed them, and they enslaved them, and they took over Egypt and set up a new genetic structure called the 46 dynasties. And during the reign of the 46 dynasties, when they was traveling from land to land teaching, way over in the land of Kedman, which the Bible tells you the original name of Canaan, where a cursed seed of people was there, they called the place El Bras. If you look up in the dictionary on El Bras, you'll find that that's the main seat in the Caucasus Mountain. It's also the word abras for leprosy in the scriptures. And those Canaanite people who were in someone else's land because their God had given them someone else's land called the land of Canaan, you follow? Decided to go pursue the wealth that they heard about at the Nile, where their God reported to them, the gold over there is good. The same way they came out of Europe to America when they saw Native Americans with pure gold, they heard the gold in America was good, and there was a migration of gold rush. The same thing happened a long time ago. History does tend to repeat itself, right? So they was coming over here to conquer. So the Hyksos knew they couldn't just come in and fight the Pygmies, but the Pygmies had their brother tribe called the Watusis, or the Dinka, the Dang, behind them, protect them because they saw the Pygmies as gods. You follow? So they had to ease their way in. So over a period of time, they snuck their way in the same way they snuck their way into America. They came from France, they came from Poland, they came from Scotland, they came from Egypt, eased in here, and then eventually took over the country and called it theirs. They did the exact same thing in ancient Egypt. They eased their way in, and eventually they established themselves as the Hiket Chasus, or the Hyksos. Some people say shepherd kings, others call them shepherd prisoners. They call them shepherd prisoners because the implication is that they were in bondage in Egypt, and it wasn't even in Egypt, they were in Memphis. When you say in Egypt, like say I'm in the United States, but I'm only in Georgia. And it's better to say I'm in Georgia. When they said we ruled Egypt, when in fact they only ruled Memphis, and that was for only 400 years before Atmos and them rose up. Again, you look at Atmos, you can see he belongs to the original Nubian tribes, conquered them and chased them back to the land of Canaan. This is all in history, and that's around the 17th to the 19th dynasty. And our lodges base our teachings on the man is called Sukenwe Toa, right? He was the man, a Toa or a Ta'ite, that had the secret that these Israelites, these three Israelites, the first three sons of Jacob, Reuben, Simon, and Levi, wanted. Levi got most of the secrets, the Levites, and set up a priesthood called the Brotherhood of Leviathan. And they became the law over the scriptures. They knew all the Egyptian laws, but they didn't get the passwords and they didn't get the master's key, which was hidden in the ninth chamber by Nammuz, who got it when he came in. You follow? So they were in bondage, and that's your whole Israelite story. So when you deal with the Bible and trying to compare it to the Egyptian and the Sumerian, it flows very easy. Black Book Part 2 makes it very clear. It ties everything like I'm doing now and shows you the places to match it up. The way I teach is I spatter out information and want you to sit down and bring it together. I want you to be a part of the learning process and stop just dictating you like you're not a God. You are a God, so you're responsible. When I put that info out there, you're responsible to take the pieces and put the puzzle together and then say, aha, I see that. Sometimes I'll say something and say, I don't understand that. And you have to wait 6 months later, I'll walk back and start talking about that. Then you go, that's the missing piece of that puzzle. That's my methodology. That makes you a part of the learning process, and therefore it makes it something that you know, not something that you were taught. Like education, all right?
Yes, sir.
Robert. I have a question. From the Revelation chapter 12, it talks about the birth of the woman and the Satan.
The birth of the child, not the woman. Yes, all right, all right.
The child. I really refer to Leo and the constellation. Well, as Shriners or those in the lodge, how will we be taught to look for the sign of Leo?
First of all,
those signs.
Shriners are not in lodges. Right?
For those of us in the lodge,
go ahead.
And for the Shriners in the temple, or whatever it may be, how we taught to look for that sign? Or will we be taught and how will we be taught?
All right. What happened is the Europeans came in, a group of them, under Albert Pike and Madame Blavatsky. The reason why they refer to her as Madame Blavatsky, why she did the thing about the ISIS papers, is because she used to provide the prostitutes all of the Masonic parties in London when they was acting the fool. Right? You know the whole story about Sherlock and all that. Okay. Now what happened is they were trying to get the sacred words that the Moors in Yorkshire, London, had given them. If you look on the crest, and I did it in a book called Let's Set the Record Straight. I showed you the different crests to show you that all throughout London, all of the original people in Yorkshire were all Moors. And I gave the crest to Scotland, and I showed you all of them were Moors. Then I gave you the ones to the Irish, where we use the word Mac, and I showed you they were Moors. So what happened, those indigenous people were being taught by a group of Moors who came up from Senegal all the way to Morocco and throughout Europe, and they were civilizing the devil, who was uncivilized, right? And what they were doing, as we were taught, we was like teaching them to swear off their actions and round out their deeds. In other words, we saw them, we looked at them as raw human beasts, and we had to say, straighten up, cut that straight. Straighten up, cut that straight. Straighten up, cut that straight. Straighten up. And we said, the only way we can keep them is to say, listen, we're going to take you into this brotherhood, and we're going to give you a couple of secrets of life. You understand? And I want you to abide by those secrets, and I don't want no trouble out y'all up in here. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear this out in the street. So the Moors started to teach these people, and it straightened them up, straightened up their posture. And they, man, you know what they became in London? They became the most intellectual of all Caucasians. You know that? In London, they got the highest degree of intelligence in all white people in a long time. What do they call the place? Huh? Central Intelligence, what is it? Oxford University? Nope, not Oxford. Yeah. The government, it's owned by the government, come on. Scotland Yard. They got all the archives of all the sacred societies in the world there. And that was given to them by Moors. That's why they call it Scottish rights. But in London or in Britain, I get confused, they call it Scotland Yard. Yeah, you know what the yardstick is. You follow? So this is why they are keeping it there. Go back around. One of the things that they knew of in the teachings is that Jesus did not die on the cross. Not the one 2,000 years ago. They knew about the transformation of the nature of the man on the cross, and when he transformed from man to God, back to man, and then the ninth hour when he gave up his soul. Read the Bible and talk about the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. What most Christians miss is that there's a double portion taking place. When the man is on the cross, two things happen. One of them is, he says, Eli, Eli, let me correct you. My God, what have thou for Satan? The word for Satan there is that it means to go away or leave or depart from. Now imagine the man on the cross saying, my God, why have thou left me? What does that mean that Jesus, but the night before, when they were beating him and putting thorns on his head, he didn't complain. When they drug him before Pontius Pilate and questioned him, he just said, who do they say I am? Who do you say I am? He never bent to the stature of a man. He remained of God through that whole period of time. You understand? Because can any man remove your sin? No. Only God can remove your sins. But they say that John the Baptist was baptizing in the Jordan, Judea, for the what? The remission of sin. So what part of John was that work moving the sins out of everybody?
I have two questions from the Black Book. The first question is on page 271. And I had wanted to know the difference between illusion and Kuluwm. They say they...
the word illusion and the Hebrew word Kuluwm?
Yes, according to the Black Book, it shows that they're related.
It's saying they're related phonetically. It's like you can say the little boy from Cuba, his name was Kuluwm.
you know right away they're phonetically related. You follow what I'm saying? And what most people don't realize is all languages on the planet Earth are related. I'm going to get back to your point, but I want to establish something. And a certain person or certain being is responsible for all the different languages on the planet, according to Bible-believing people. Somebody diversified the tongues, caused the battle, and now people speak different languages. Whoever that person is also the person responsible for racism, separation, and hate. You say, well, how's that? Because Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, that same person says, I'm going to put enmity between the woman's seed and the serpent seed. So this being talking is saying, I'm going to put enmity, I'm going to put hate, I'm going to put rivalry between two beings that I created. Because God created both that woman and the devil. And people say, well, how did God create the devil? Well, because people say that in the Bible or the Quranic life, that the devil is darkness and God is light. That's why Jesus early on is called, God is called light, and light is knowledge, etc., etc., etc. But when and if God did create light, and he said, what, let there be? When he did that, he had to create shadows. Because if you create light, you automatically create a shadow. Now, the light the shadow is created by an object in light. So therefore, when the sun was created, if the sun is a mass, and that mass has a shadow, then he said, let there be light, and he deciphered that the sun was light, and that the evening and the morning, there was a shadow out. But neither one of them are pure darkness, because the sun itself had to be created outside of darkness. If there was no light, there'd be no shadow. So you had darkness before you had the shadow. So therefore, their reference to dark as evil is in actuality talking about the shadow, not the state of darkness that God had to be in when God said, let there be light. All intelligence, all thinking has its birth or origin in darkness, meaning there is no light inside your head at this moment. So when you see anything, you look outward apparently and reflect the image inward. So in order to see, you don't see this way, you see this way. And therefore you're sending light inward to darkness. And when it gets inside the head, it follows through the eyes, through the optic nerve, then it triggers with the brain. Therefore the intelligent point, or the point of decision, or deciding what I'm looking at, how tall it is, how bright it is, how fat it is, how thin it is, how red or green or blue, is done in darkness. And it takes the intelligence to make that decision. You follow what I'm saying? It doesn't take the ability to cut on the light to use the intelligence. The intelligence factor is done in the darkness. Thus, God, in actuality, being the source of all intelligence, dwells in darkness. And God said, let there be light. And when light came, there had to be a shadow. And that shadow is what they're calling the darkness of evil. And that's why if you look in the Quran, the same word they use for darkness, zulm, is the same word they use for shadow, zulm. And the Arabic of the Quran is from the ancient Semitic, which goes back to the ancient Semitic languages where Hebrew is the same word. So their definition of shadow and darkness was the same. Somewhere along the line, the preacher and the teacher got confused. And they just made all darkness bad. And then said darkness is associated with black, so black thus is bad. But black, not being a color but a state, existed before darkness. You see, because darkness is telling you it has a state, it has a degree of itself. Darkness. There is darkness, then there's less than darkness. And a shadow is determined by how far the sun is from the object that it's reflected upon. You with me, somebody? So when you reach down inside the human being, right, in the mind, you find light or darkness. And in that darkness, you find reason, decision, and thought. So when God said, let there be light, and thus God created a shadow, the counterpart to light, the shadow was the darkness, the irreality yet existed, the unpurpose yet existed, the untangible yet existing, the illusion of the Most High. So Kuluwm translated as the Most High, and illusion to the Most High would be its equal untangible. The shadow is equal to you in all shape, size, and intensity, but not in density. You follow? That's why in the Black Book it says Kuluwm and illusion are really from the same thing, because illusion is alluding to the shadow of the material thing. And we've been taught to ignore how important a shadow is. But all of us will step in the shade when it's too hot. And while we seek the shade, the shadow seems to become very important to us. But on a cloudy day, right before a picnic, when we're wishing for the sun, all of a sudden we no longer like the shade. We don't want the clouds to hinder our picnic. Now, go away, clouds. So we've been taught to cast away the dark, because it hinders what I can do in the light. Never realizing that anything I do in the light is coming from the intellect. And that's why I refer to that as the intellect and not the outtellect, because those decisions are made in the head, not outside the head. The vision and what I see is determined from my insight, not my outsight. You follow? Okay?
I have one other question. On the same page, it states that the square, according to the ancient ones, is different than the one that what we perceive as a square.
Okay.
I don't want to know how.
I'll tell you what. Because when we see a square, we're looking at 4 90-degree angles, right? Is that a square? What is the difference between a square and a cube, geometrically speaking?
The cube has 6 sides.
A cube has density,
Yes.
but it's still a square. And from each angle you look at it, you see a square from any direction. This is what makes it a cube. But when we look at the square, or the square, all we're looking at is a frame undefined. It has to, from that point, make a decision as to what it's going to become. But the cube has completed its journey into what it is. It becomes the cube. Or in Arabic, it becomes a Kaaba. You follow that? The square plus, now listen, the square geometrically add up to the cube. Square gives me 4 90-degree angles. But the cube gives me how many? The 4 90-degree angles on a square, because the square doesn't have its density. It hasn't become the cube in order to create the next 4 corners. So the square gives me 300, how much is the square? 4 90 degrees? And the cube? 720. 720. If I had a blackboard in front of me, I would draw a square. And I'll get my 360 degrees. And then I would draw a cube. And you'll see that the point from which I join the lines, the cube transforms itself either inward or outward. It's taking me from the physical into the next realm. I don't want to just say spiritual. It's pulling me from the 3rd dimension, the cube, to the 4th dimension, the square. When in actuality, a cube has a density. So that's why they say it's an optical illusion to look at a square when you make the box. You can't tell the central point whether it's coming at you or going in. But you're looking at the square turned with the point facing you, as opposed to the cube turned with the face. I hope I'm not losing you. If I could draw this, it should be easier. So I'm trying to draw this in my mind, and it can sound real confusing. So in actuality, the 720 degrees that the cube produces gives you 360 degrees of the physical plane and 360 degrees of the spiritual plane. I don't want to use spiritual because I don't want people to get spooky, right? Whereas the square, a geometric symbol, a geometry, is only giving me 360 degrees of the physical plane. I'm seeing it before it becomes what it is destined. And it only has one destination because all the points are closed, and that is to become a cube. It's a reference to our character and what we are as a one-dimensional being with the soul. When I look at this gentleman, I see his physical and I see him 360 degrees. I see what it takes to be a mortal. But I'm also looking at a spiritual being that will only come out when he is finished becoming what he was cut out to be. So in Freemasonry, they have what they call the asher, or the uncut stone. And they carve it until they get a perfect square. And they continue to carve until they manifest a perfect cube. And those stages are the growth of the shaping of our character. Because while we are squaring off our actions and deeds in the physical, it must have a reaction on the spiritual level. In order for me to get myself together physically, I have to get myself together mentally. I cannot pretend I'm not using drugs no more. I have to stop using drugs. I can't pretend I'm not getting drunk no more. I have to stop. So that square becomes that cube is a reference to a perfect asher. A stone cut without the sound of a hammer, nor the sweat of a brow. That means you cut the stone because you, as a being, is an uncut asher, a rough stone. It must be cut. And then till you become a perfect being. And most people say you can't ever become perfect. And I say, wrong. If you're in the image and after the likeness of God, you have a destiny to become perfect. And whoever's telling you you can't become perfect is dangerous. Because that person is questioning the God quality in you and the gift that God gave you to be in his or her image and after his or her likeness. You do have a destiny to square yourself off. There's symbolism in the black book. It has yet to be elaborated on. And that's just all one of one. Okay? Okay.
Amen.
As the mysteries of Egypt intrigue you, the secrets of the pyramids, and the sign now.
Right here.
Okay, yes, I'm going to try to find it. Okay.
Rahul. I have a question. It states that raise small names.
Excuse me, I don't want to be rude, but it states.
Oh, excuse me, the black.
Okay.
Pardon me.
I gotta be with you.
Okay, in the black book it states that raise small name is Kuluwm. And later on in the black book it states that Enlil is called Kuluwm. So I guess my question is, what is the connection, if any, between these two beings having the same name and between the material that you
You mean these four beings, don't you?
four beings?
Because whenever you say Ray, you're saying Atum Ray, and Amun Ray. And it depends on what known in ancient Egypt you were in at the time, and which one worshipped which deity. In some, let's say in Thebes, they had Amun Ray. So they refer to Amun Ray there as Ray because Amun was understood. And if you went to Memphis, they had Atum Ray. And they just referred to him as Ray. So therefore, all of the Anunnaki were rays. They all fall under the term ray. That did not apply to all of the Sumerians. All of the Neolithic Egyptians, before the word Egyptos was used, were referred to as ray. That did not refer to the dynastic period that came out of them. You follow what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I have a question on the Black Book on page 33. In reference to the census, further question back there. You said that you have mastered one, it's on page 33, so you have mastered, one, two, three, and have traveled, 1 and 2, and have traveled 3, 5, 7, and now you hold the key between 1 and 9. And I was trying to get a clear understanding on the numbers.
Not being a Freemason, you might not understand, but oftentimes in Freemason, they might ask an individual, how old are you? And the answer is 1, 3, right, 1, 3, or 5, right? And that's making a reference to which degrees of the ladder of Jacob they have in mind. So I'm making reference to any Freemason who comes across that book and it says, how old are you? I said, well, I've already passed 1, 3, 5. And I went on to 7 and straight on up. They don't know, they don't get past 3 degrees. And those 3 degrees are 1, 3, 5. And the British Holographic Masturbation. That's as high as they go. There's no such thing as 33 degrees in Freemasonry. There's no such thing as 32 degrees. The original degrees of Freemasonry are only 3 degrees. Everything else is honorary studies. If I'm saying Egyptians, as we never gave them over 3 degrees. We never allowed them outside of person, places, and things. And because they are the masters of most education systems destiny, everybody, Muslim, Christian, Jew, are all trapped under 3 degrees. Person, places, and things. And we say, I'm going to take people to another level, and do 7. Then at that point I say, and in the metaphysical or esoteric doctrine, you've been taught about the 7 seats, or chakras. Well, because the people who were teaching that science only had 7, you follow? They don't know about the 9. Now I'm taking you from the 7 up to the next. You have to learn about the next 2 chakras, not just the one that's in the crown side. We get to the, like I said, we go to the ancient Egyptian word, you look at the dictionary, and the word brow seat. You get the Egyptian word near, which you also know is been translated as pyramid or central fire. Right? It's like right there. They considered this the 6th point, the 3rd eye. Then they went to the crown with their 12 occult nerves, which represent the 12 signs of the zodiac. And in the center of there, they put the 7th seat, the crown chakra. When they get back to Egypt at the temple of Hathor, and they look on the ceiling toward the sky, and they see the calendar of Dendora, they notice that in the center of Tawaret, and Tawaret is a female deity. The Moors call her Zodiacus, the center of the sign of the zodiac. They also call her Minty. They got many different names. We see her standing in the center as the mother of mammals that are also reptilians. You know what I'm saying? So we have this degree of study. It takes us from Earth at 1, up the body, 3, on out the body, to 5, and straight on into the universe, to 7. And we keep on traveling. Right? The zodiac represents our woman, the mother of all creation, the science of the universe, and Wapo, in actuality, is a feminine word in the ancient language, for science, sound, right, and reasoning. It applies to the woman. So those are key signatures to identify. And when you get the handbook, it's coming soon. Right? You study the handbook. I may walk up to you one day and say, well, how old are you? And then you say, I'm 9. When you get 9, then you're born again. No Christian can be born again until he's 9. And see, Christ, as they call him, Christos or Krishna, said, you must be born again. And when he asked, you mean I must go back into the womb? He said, no, you must be born of spirit and truth. The God, you must be saved. You must receive grace and joy. He couldn't understand. Nicodemus couldn't understand where Jesus was coming from. Well, Jesus was after the order of Melchizedek, because Jesus was an Essene. And the only Egyptian order he could find in all Judea were the Essenes up in Jordan. So he went there following John the Baptist, because he was after the order of Melchizedek, and the Essene order was the Egyptian order, and that's the only place those degrees would be conferred. You follow that? So he made that I am the way, the truth, and the life. He was telling them, come behind me, walk this path through this temple, and I'm going to give you this special guidance. I'm going to give you this special truth, some information that I got. It caused me problems in the temple, because when I came back from Egypt, I had to confront the rabbis and the priests, and I got in a great argument with them about these truths of Torah. Because I have to explain to them that the Torah or the Tanakh, that holy book, is nothing but Torah. The female in the sense of the zodiac, Torah. And they wasn't ready to accept the Egyptian mysteries, because they had already set up a doctrine. So he had to put aside what he learned in the ancient Egyptian order while he studied ancient Egypt and submerged himself amongst the Essenes. And at that point, he was stepping down in degrees. So you'll come around again, I promise you, and you'll read it and you'll laugh. And then I'll walk with you sometime between now and then and say to them, say, by the way, how old are you? And you'll laugh when you answer me, when you realize how simple it is. It's explained and handled. I had to confront the rabbis and the priests in Jordan. So he went there following, you must be saved. You must receive grace and joy. He couldn't understand. Nicodemus couldn't understand where Jesus was coming from. Well, Jesus was after the order of Melchizedek, because Jesus was an Essene. And the only Egyptian order he could find in all Judea were the Essenes up in Jordan. So he went there following John the Baptist, because he was after the order of Melchizedek, and the Essene order was the Egyptian order, and that's the only place those degrees would be conferred. You follow that? So he made that I am the way, the truth, and the life. He was telling them, come behind me, walk this path through this temple, and I'm going to give you this special guidance. I'm going to give you this special truth, some information that I got. It caused me problems in the temple, because when I came back from Egypt, I had to confront the rabbis and the priests, and I got in a great argument with them about these truths of Torah. Because I have to explain to them that the Torah or the Tanakh, that holy book, is nothing but Torah. The female in the sense of the zodiac, Torah. And they wasn't ready to accept the Egyptian mysteries, because they had already set up a doctrine. So he had to put aside what he learned in the ancient Egyptian order while he studied ancient Egypt and submerged himself amongst the Essenes. And at that point, he was stepping down in degrees. So you'll come around again, I promise you, and you'll read it and you'll laugh. And then I'll walk with you sometime between now and then and say to them, say, by the way, how old are you? And you'll laugh when you answer me, when you realize how simple it is. It's explained and handled. That's what you prosecute. All right? But Freemasons do that, 1, 3, 5, 7. It's how, when they call you Master Mason, they consider themselves 7. And that 7 is what? The highest point on the chakras, or the climbing of the Kuluwm, the ladders of Jacob, they get to the top. If you see a Freemasonry chart, you see they have all the degrees going up. And at the top, they have a triangle with an eye in the triangle. And that's where you see the top, the highest so-called degree. And they'll call that 33 degrees, but the manifestation will be Kunsu. Because when they get to that so-called degree, they give you a phoenix bird looking in 2 different directions. And that's the symbol of Kunsu, the healer of ancient Egypt. And that eye is there, is looking down with it. That's the eye of God, the sun. They find out that the light that they've been following is really the light of he said, I'm the light of the world. In the Holy Quran, it says, Allah is the Nur Samawati wal Ard. Lord of Samawati wal Ard. That means the light of the heavens, sky, and the earth. You become the light of the sky and the earth, you are still the light of the world because you're referring to the sun. You can't immediately adjust that and say the light of the heaven and earth means my mind or my intellect, because I just explained to you that intellect is conceived in darkness, inside the head where there is no light. The thoughts come in there and then they come back out. You follow? So when he says, I am the light of the heavens and earth, the sun. So the Freemason, after all of his traveling toward the light, finds out that the light he was traveling towards was nothing more than the sun. And all the knowledge he got was nothing more than knowledge with inside this earthly range. Sciences, arts, fine arts, mathematics, geometry. And he's like, puzzled. And a hand reaches down from heaven and pulls him up out the muck and mire if he wants to step through the mass and become a god. When he becomes a god, they refer to him as a supreme grand master in the lodge, as opposed to simply a master mason or a grand master who can open and close the lodge, but does not bear the title supreme grand master. He sits in the eastern point of the lodge, and above him is the eye of God, which is in actuality Re, the sun. He now is amongst the ranks of the Egyptian deities and inherits the responsibility of conveying the message to people on earth, if they are worthy and capable of keeping the secret. And what is the secret? The secret is hidden in the name, the sacred name. What is the sacred name? What name in Egypt is a ray and deals with a secret? Amun. Amun means the hidden one, the one who keeps the secret. And so the Freemason who walks through Jah, Baal, and on, he accepts the Bible, the Quran, and the Illuminati, and finally gets to the Book of Dead. He's passed through the three, what they call monotheistic religions, and each one of them, at the end of their ritual, or when the light of their ritual starts to descend or end, says, Amen, Amun, or Umain. And they all end with the same name of the same deity. And that's why in Revelation chapter 3, verse 14, he literally says, Aman, the faithful, the true. The faithful, with a definite article, is to make sure that you don't think they're talking about Jesus. Right? Where we are, don't matter. Just go and ask.
My question is from the guidance and message book.
Yes.
Deities in your mind.
Yes.
I'm having a lot of problems in putting, like, how do I give reverence to, or where do I put these deities? Is it that we follow each principle, like if you follow justice to Maya, then that gives reverence to that particular deity, or?
No. Math or justice is in you. You are reaching for deities that are in you. The problem is you have reached a point. Let me say something. When a person grows up from a baby to a certain height, right? Like a plant, if you plant a specific species of a plant, when it grows and it blossoms, the plant has completed its growth. It has become what it's supposed to be. Correct? Then its next stage is dying or regression. Yeah? Everybody who is now the height they're going to ever be, like the plant, has what? Then what your intellect does is it blossoms outward and you bloom into some type of intellectual being for those who outside that reckon. You've mellowed and grown to perfection. You've completed your growing stage. Now, you stop. Because you have not died, it's only because the season for human growth and decline is longer than that of a rose or a dandelion. You follow? So now where's your next journey? The next journey is once you get complete, is back inside, all the way back to your roots. And as you pass to your roots, stop looking for deities as outside entities, statues, or images, because that's what religion has done to us. Cut stone and they carve it until they get a perfect square. And they continue to carve until they manifest a perfect cube. And those stages are the growth of the shaping of our character. Because while we are squaring off our actions and deeds in the physical, it must have a reaction on the spiritual us. In order for me to get myself together physically, I have to get myself together mentally. I cannot pretend I'm not using drugs no more. I have to stop using drugs. I can't pretend I'm not getting drunk no more. I have to stop. So that square becomes that cube is a reference to a perfect action. A stone cut without the sound of a hammer, nor the sweat of a brow. That means you cut the stone because you, as a being, is an uncut ashlar, a rough stone. It must be cut, and then till you become a perfect being. And most people say you can't ever become perfect, and I say wrong. If you're in the image and after the likeness of God, you have a destiny to become perfect. And whoever's telling you you can't become perfect is dangerous. Because that person is questioning the God quality in you and the gift that God gave you to be in his or her image and after his or her likeness. You do have a destiny to square yourself off. There's symbolism in the black book. It has yet to be elaborated on. And that's just part one of one. Okay? Okay.
Amen. As the mysteries of Egypt intrigued you, the secrets of the pyramids, and the scientists that built them. Well, now you can.
The black.
Okay.
Pardon me.
I gotta be with you.
Okay, in the black book it states that Ray's small name is Kuluwm. And later on in the black book it states that Enlil is called Kuluwm. So I guess my question is, what is the connection, if any, between these two beings having the same name and between the material that you should
You mean these four beings, don't you?
four beings?
Because whenever you say Ray, you're saying Atum Ray, and Amun Ray. And it depends on what known in ancient Egypt you were in at the time, and which one worshipped which deity. See, some, let's say in Thebes, they had Amun Ray. So they refer to Amun Ray there as Ray because Amun was understood. And if you went to Memphis, they had Atum Ray. And they just refer to him as Ray. So therefore, all of the Anunnaki were rays. They all fall under the term Ray. That did not apply to all of the Sumerians. All of the Neolithic Egyptians, before the word Egyptos was used, were referred to as Ray. That did not refer to the dynastic period that came out of them. You follow what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I have a question in the black book on page 33. In reference to the census, the question back there. You said that you have mastered one, it's on page 33, so you have mastered 1, 2, 3, you have traveled, 1 and 2, have traveled 3, 5, 7, and now you hold the key between 1 and 9. And I was trying to get a clear understanding on the numbers.
Not being a Freemason, you might not understand, but oftentimes in Freemason, they might ask an individual, how old are you? And the answer is 1, 3, right, up 1, 3, or 5, right? And that's making reference to which degrees of the ladder of Jacob they have in mind. So I'm making reference to any Freemason who comes across that book and says, how old are you? I said, well, I've already passed 1, 3, 5. And I went on to 7 and straight on up. They don't know, they don't get past 3 degrees. And those 3 degrees are 1, 3, 5. And the British Holographic Masturbation. That's as high as they go. There's no such thing as 33 degrees in Freemasonry. There's no such thing as 32 degrees. The original degrees of Freemasonry are only 3 degrees. Everything else is honorary studies. If I'm saying Egyptians, and we never gave them over 3 degrees. We never allowed them outside of person, places, and things. And because they are the masters of most education system's destiny, everybody, Muslim, Christian, Jew, are all trapped under 3 degrees. Person, places, and things. And you say, I'm going to take people to another level and do 7. Then at that point I say, and in the metaphysical or esoteric doctrine, you've been taught about the 7 seats or chakras. Well, because the people who were teaching that science only had 7, you follow? They don't know about the 9. Now I'm taking you from the 7 up to the next. You have to learn about the next 2 chakras, not just the one that's in the crown side. We get to the, like I said, we go to the ancient Egyptian word, you look at the dictionary of the word brow seat. You get the Egyptian word near, which you also know is been translated as pyramid or central fire. Right? It's like right there. They considered this the 6th point, the 3rd eye. Then they went to the crown with their 12 occult nerves, which represent the 12 signs of the zodiac. And in the center of there, they put the 7th seat, the crown chakra. When they get back to Egypt at the temple of Hathor,
what goes around comes back around. Hey, my baby. I say what goes around comes back around. Hey, my baby. What goes around.
Mystical teacher sat by the seaside. It was about 5 o'clock because we heard the free ride. Anyway, the teacher was talking in stride, sitting upon a rock that was wide and warning against false pride. Come to where I reside, a woman cried, and the teacher replied, do you serve your fish fried? Yes, she replied, with potato salad on the side. And the teacher replied, well, where do you reside? She said, up on the hillside, it's not a far ride. If you came to have dinner, I would be so gratified. The teacher replied, it's 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you decide. She replied, 7 o'clock, do you like stir fried? She was mystified and felt so dignified. The teacher was coming to the house where she resides, so she purified with pesticides, calling her friends up nationwide. Some of her friends were tongue-tied. They felt so glorified. She made steamed fish, baked fish, fish that was fried, soup, steamed vegetables, potato salad on the side. You could smell the bread in the oven far and wide. Natural juices and water purified. Organic fruits brought from the countryside. With silver forks and knives placed side by side. You could not be dissatisfied. Looking out the window, staring at the mountainside, you would have died. 6:59, she's swollen with pride. As the moment intensified, there's a knock from outside. She opens the door, for the teacher has arrived. But to her surprise, it was a bomb who cried, please, I smelt the bread from outside. 1 piece. And then she replied, the teacher is coming. He's soon to have arrived. You're making me look bad. Come on now, step aside. The bomb then replied, when I say I'm hungry, I haven't lied. Give me some of that chicken that you just fried. She replied, chicken fried? No, that's for the teacher. You're not purified. Then she slammed the door and went back inside. Sat on the couch with the TV guide. She looked at the clock. It was 7:09, then 7:30. He still hasn't arrived. 8 o'clock, she was on the downside. 9 o'clock, by now she's teary-eyed. She pissed off and her anger multiplied. She cried, then fell asleep dissatisfied. Next day, she woke up and was preoccupied with meeting the mystical teacher who lied. Where could he hide? She ran down by the seaside. He was there teaching about false pride. You lied, she replied. You lied. You said you would be there at 7 o'clock. You lied. He replied, no, I have not lied. I came at 6:59 and you told me to move aside. I asked for bread and chicken that was fried. And you said that I wasn't purified. She replied, I wasn't notified. I had no idea that you was the bomb that cried. And the teacher sighed, then replied, this concludes our lesson on false pride.
Begin all prayer in thinking by using El Kuluwm, the all. Prayer of the ancestors. O Heavenly One, the Most High, who is sustainer of all the rules, we do accept the duty you have laid on us to clean up the filth made by that West and its non-committing fools. O my sustainer, we beseech you to keep your hand over us, to control the strings of the forces of our lives. Our sustainer, if we do wrong, please show thy divine blessings and forgiveness on us. You are the only one that can raise us true followers of the news bearers. And in thy name, we carry on an anthem for all.
Please welcome the Son of Man, Noble Bodie.
El Kuluwm. El Kuluwm. All right, y'all. Great day, everybody. You are officially tuned in to the Son of Man show, hosted by Don Nicoleone. Secrets revealed. It is official once again. Lord have mercy. Welcome, everybody, to the Don Nicoleone show. Actually, God damn it. All right. The Son of Man show broadcast live every Sunday. Ooh, there's a and not a noon. What does it say? Every Sunday, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on WGAG Radio, Real Nigga Radio. Great day, everybody. Let's just shout out. Oh, my bad. I hit the wrong button. Let's hit a clap. Got to show some love to everybody on the call lines. If you need the call-in number is 425-569-5274. Hit the one button and we'll be able to chop it up with you. Great day to all my peoples over there in the after party. Great day, Biggie D. Hope all is well with you. Good to see you. Special shout out to my girl Nefertiti surviving the game. Sister XJ1, wake your ass up, girl. And I'm across the street to Lockdown Radio again. That's where we simulcasting or streaming from WGAG Radio into YouTube, our channel, Lockdown Radio again. It's a great day. Patrice 2020. I saw Jael. Great day, Jael. Hope all is well with you. Special shout out to Twain Star Devil Law. If you missed the El Holy Tablet show, hey, no worries. It's actually on Lockdown Radio. You can actually catch it there on YouTube, also WGAG Radio Facebook page. It gives you all the shows that we post or stream. And so you'll be able to check out the El Holy Tablet show Saturday night if you missed it. And also it's on blogtalkradio.com/WGAG-radio. That's where all the shows at, starting from 2008, October 23rd. As a matter of fact, we're moving into year 13 on WGAG Radio on the 23rd of October. Was that September? After September come October, right? Damn, that's another month and some change. We'll be 13 years into WGAG Radio. And of course, we'll be 13 years without everybody participating and tuning in and help rowing the boat of WGAG Radio, 13 years strong. Thank y'all so much. Early thanks to everybody who felt that this was also their home and kept it clean. And if it was a hole in the wall, y'all motherfuckers patched it up. And if it was dirty, y'all niggas cleaned it up. If it was broken, you niggas fixed it. all that type of shit. So, yeah, 13 years into WGAG Radio, October 23rd. Got to thank everybody for keeping it going, especially Nefertiti surviving the game, and all those from the past and present and in the future that would also do the same and has done the same and will do it, not just for WGAG Radio, but also for themselves. That's what the word diligent means, to go beyond what is called the view to do, and it certainly has been Nefertiti surviving the game, man. Certainly was Neff around this bitch. Great day, Ethereum. What happened, man? Power Talk did you wrong. Power Talk did you wrong. That's why you in the chat room over there on Lockdown Radio. You visiting us in prison. You visiting us in prison, baby. Because I saw you was having issues yesterday coming in and out of the after party. So you probably want to uninstall and come back in. You know, but just let me know, you know what I'm saying, if that was the issue, like I can really solve it, but probably have to uninstall that type of shit if it is, though. All right, y'all. So you already know Don Nicoleone. That first hour, I'm playing, the first hour I played was actually 2 classes. One was the hidden meaning of Freemasonry. That's the one I kept rewinding back. I'm pretty sure you heard that, me rewinding it back, taking it back and shit. That's the hidden meaning of Freemason. It's kind of difficult if you're not familiar with some of the science or the doctrine of Freemason to get it in your head. Trust me, I wasn't either for quite some time, just listening to this nigga. And by the time I get into the universal lessons of Freemasons, of the Masonic Lodge, it all started to make sense. So when he talks about the ashlar, the uncut stone, talk about darkness and light, he's actually having this conversation because it's based on, you know, Freemason doctrine, you know what I'm saying, which goes all the way back to ancient Egypt, as of course you should know that by now. So with the hidden meaning of Freemason, he also takes it to the Moors. You know what I'm saying? And then if you paid attention, he takes it back to the Moors, and the Moors called the ladies Adakas. One thing that I caught for this time around, it was actually last week because I've been playing the hell out of that hidden meaning of Freemasonry, he says, which is Nuwapu, a feminine word, and it means a woman, and he says sound right reasoning. Right knowledge, no, he says sound right reasoning. So this is very important. You know what I'm saying? May not mean nothing to anybody, you know what I'm saying, but it means a lot. It means more than anything to me simply because I didn't hear that part. I knew that Nuwapu was a feminine word, but then he goes and says sound right reasoning, which is a woman. You know what I'm saying? Which, you know what I'm saying? Some shit like that. I round it back. You don't fucking believe my ass. But the hidden meaning of Freemasonry is also coming up next after the Son of Man show on the Man of the Hour. Yeah. So, called Ladies of Darkest Tower I read, and then he actually says that's where they get the Torah from. It's from Tower I read. The female deity is actually Torah, and it's actually, anyway, motherfucker's incredible. He doesn't give a shit. He does not give a shit. As a matter of fact, I was reading the comments on YouTube on the vid. And you know what, don't even matter. I ain't even got time to share the shit. Y'all ready for the secrets reveal? We in season 1, episode 5. We're coming out of or coming into or from the universal lessons of the Masonic Lodge, the secret degrees and studies of EA. What is EA again? Entered Apprentice. This is the CGC, Dr. Malachi Z. York, L33, 720 degrees trademark, the Sovereign Grand Master, SGC, the Sovereign Grand Master of the Nuwapian Worldwide Masonic Lodge. And right now, or today, this might be the first book I actually ever finished around this motherfucker. We're on page 106 of the EA apprentice, the great spirit of eternal creation. And and I left it off at, we on 106, like y'all got the book. However, the symbol of the 3 sapphire stones in the Masonic lodges, you can actually Google that. And then you have the 3 points of light. So you type in the 3 points of light in masonry, and you'll see that figure. 32 points of light. Now, why are we talking about this? Oh, because we got to get back to the Hebrew. We got to get back to the G. The G that's in the G, the G that's in the middle of the compass of the square, that G. Okay? So in Hebrew, G is the 3rd letter in Hebrew, Gemal or Gamal. The letter G is for grand, great, God, good, genitals, genes, Gnosticism, even geometry. So G is a symbol of the German word gut, G-H-U-T-T, or gut, G-U-T, which translates good and become God in English. Because we know that God is a German word, right? The word God itself is a German word. If I'm not mistaken, it was 630 AD or 670 AD when the word God came out. When they took the word God from the German language and put it all throughout the Bible. Anyway, God in English, okay? That's your German word. The letter G used in Masonic Lodge was originally the sun symbolized as a circle. Again, the letter G used in the Masonic Lodge was originally the sun symbolized as a circle. The symbol of man is solar. The symbol of man is solar. He is governed by years, whereas the square is the symbol of the 4 quarters of the moon. In tune with the 4, let's do it again. He is governed by years, whereas the square is the symbol of the 4 quarters of the moon, in tune with the woman's 4 cycles, monthly menstruation. She is governed by months. The symbol of woman is lunar. Phases of the moon. Look it up. The earth rotations around the sun. So you go to Luke chapter 21, verse 25, and it says, and I quote, "And there shall be signs in the sun. There shall be signs in the sun and in the moon. There shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars. And upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves warring." Luke chapter 21, verse 25. I'll do it again. "And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves warring." Men, okay? The planet Earth is called the blue planet or rock, the blue house or home. Earth is 93 million miles from the sun. The Earth is 24,896 miles in circumference. It revolves around the sun every 365 days, solar calendar. Women, the moon is called the white planet or rock in the White House of our sisters, the Order of the Eastern Star. The moon is 11,000 miles from the Earth. It is 2,160 miles in diameter, and it revolves around the blue house every 29 1/3 days lunar calendar. Question: how can I be a square man if the square is the moon's 4 quarters and symbolic of a woman? I'll ask that question again. How can I be a square man if the square is the moon's 4 quarters and symbolic of a woman? Answer. The secret word is a ladies' man, and a patron must be present in the female lodge meetings because the woman was taken out of man. Genesis chapter 2, verse 23, quote, and Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. As the moon parts from the sun and gets its light from the sun, she reflects us. The Greek Brotherhood used the symbol delta, the 4th letter of the Greek alphabet, a triangle or Egyptian pyramid. 3 points, but the Greek letter G is gamma, the 3rd letter. The 3 great lights, 1 square, 2 compass, 3 Holy Bible, and also the G is the 3rd letter, Gamal, in Hebrew. 1 knowledge, 2 wisdom, 3 understanding. In the Greek alphabet and Hebrew, in alpha is Greek, aleph is Hebrew, beta is Greek, bet is Hebrew, gamma is Greek, and Gamal, Hebrew. Hope y'all can follow that. It is associated with the 3rd sacred name of Elohim, gods in Hebrew, Gadol, G-A-D-O-L, which means great, and the sacred name of men, Gabor, or Gibor, in Genesis chapter 6, verse 4, meaning mighty men, part Elohim, gods, and part mortal, Enosites or Enos, sons of God, sons of men. The 3rd letter of the Hebrew alphabet, Gamal, is camel, C-A-M-E-L, Kamal, the beast of burden. The Grand Master is symbolic of a camel, the Grand Master is symbolic of a camel, which is symbolized by riding the hump or goat. G is also for the great architect of the universe, which spells G-A-O-T-U, great architect of the universe. This circle is also the symbol of the iris of the eye. The Egyptian deity Ra, or Re, or Roy, in the Holy Bible, Genesis chapter 16, verse 13, is called El Roy, God who sees. This was Hagar, Abraham's Egyptian wife. Genesis 16:3, quote, and Sarah, Abraham's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband, Abram, to be his wife. Her real Egyptian name was Heket Re. It means the fertile one of Re. The Egyptian word for eye is Usa. U-S-A is how you spell it. Got it? Note that USA, USA, U, United, S, States, A, America, and the all-seeing eye on the back of the $1 bill above the Egyptian pyramid with 13 rows of bricks. This is the ancient symbol of the Egyptian supreme being Netir Re, Ra, which is also the symbol of the great sun, the all-seeing eye, for the sun sees into the darkest places. The sun is used for worship throughout many cultures like Sunday. This was all borrowed from the Egyptians because it brought warmth. It is the light of each new day. Even in the Holy Bible, Malachi chapter 4, verse 2, Yeshua, Isa, Jesus, is called the Son of Righteousness. Psalms chapter 84, verse 11 through 12, and it says in verse 11, for the Lord, Yahayu, or Yahweh, or Jehovah, for the Lord God, Elohim, is a sun and shield. The Lord will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly. Verse 12. O Lord of hosts, blessed is the man that trusted in thee. In Isaiah chapter 60, verse 19 through 20, the sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee. But the Lord shall be unto thee in everlasting light, and thy God thy glory. Verse 20. Thy sun shall no more go down, neither shall thy moon withdraw itself. For the Lord shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. End quote. So, as you see, the sun is also in the Holy Bible as the Yahayu, Elohim, the Lord of the gods. Ooh, wait. The Lord of the gods, the sun. Come on in, Zena, give me a mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
Great day, baby. How you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Coming in here early for the Masonic Lodge Into the Apprentice.
You already know.
Look at you. Girl, you know Eastern Star, you are Into the Apprentice around this bitch. We don't do the Eastern Star thing. How you doing?
I'm doing my best, girl. Been here just ready to help you read some of these scriptures if you want me to.
Thank you. Yeah, when it comes to it, when he ain't got these quotes. Okay, so I'm on page 116, whoever got the book. But, so back to geometry. And remember GAOT, this is where they got the greatest of all times from, GOAT. Remember that? Well, it actually comes from the Masonic Lodge. It's GAOTU, Great Architect of the Universe, Geometry, which is also mean goat or camel, gamel. Got it? Yeah. Because I was thinking about, like, how the fuck they come up with GOAT? You know what I'm saying? Like, Rihanna is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. But it should go back to Masonic Lodge, man. The GAOTU. Yeah. And, of course, Kamal is actually a goat. Yeah, the great goat. Anyway. Yeah, you heard me read it, though. Come on in, Tammuz. Give me a mic check, baby. Great day to you.
Yeah, great day, Don. Great day, Zena.
Man, it's actually the same damn day, and it don't feel like we wasn't together a couple of hours ago.
It do. We've been together. Yeah.
It feel like we wasn't, right? Feel like it's a whole new day. When you close your eyes and wake the fuck back up, feel different, don't it? But we stayed up all night.
We still on your couch.
Yeah. Hell yeah. You know what, Zena, I thought about that. When I got out of bed, started my day right, went straight to the after party. Turned on computer, went straight to the after party, right? And then went to the other computer, set the shit up, and then continue on, getting shit together. Went back to the after party, and I saw you say something like "Great day, John. Great day, this and the third," and I ain't want to type back, right?
Right.
I ain't want to say great day back. But anyway, then I realized, I said, damn, man, we must live together. But then I realized, I said, we must live together. Because I'm not a morning person. I do not want to speak to every fucking body as soon as I wake the fuck up. Like, I said, we must goddamn live together. God damn. Motherfucker talking already and shit. Give me a goddamn minute to shake the devil off.
Making all that noise in the kitchen and shit. Making all that damn.
That's what I said, man. So we must live together, man. Cause I don't even want to say great day back. I hate that shit. When Doc came over and shit, this nigga probably was up before me, but then I finally walked out the room and shit, and they hit this nigga. Nafil Baka. I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear no goddamn greeting. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. I'm not a morning. I don't want to talk to you. It's not what the first thing I want to fucking do when I get up. The fuck?
You see how
This
I'm
is not
no
what I want to fucking do.
marks and no big I keep that shit real simple. Great day. That should be dry as fuck.
Great day. Great day, motherfucker. Like coming in to work and shit. Really don't want to talk to these motherfuckers. You want to do your job. So, get up first. Let me get my shit together first, man. The fuck? All right, y'all. So we in the Masonic crest. That is the great architect of the universe. But anyway, so geometry, right? We're on geometry now. Another G. And it means to measure. Geo means earth, metry, to measure. So geometry is a branch of mathematics that deals with the properties of space. It is the mathematics of the properties, measurements, and relationships of points, lines, angles, surfaces, and solids. Yeah, baby. We got a picture of Shambhala in this bitch. The explanation of the diagram of Shambhala. Yod, the hand of God. You ready? We got a few books that we need to open up. Numbers, chapter 11, verse 23. Somebody go there. 1 Samuel, chapter 5, verse 11. And whoever gets Samuel, stay in Sam. Don't close the book because we got Samuel 24, verse 14. So the first one is Numbers 11, chapter 11, verse 23, Numbers.
All right.
And you get a chance, Tammuz, if you got your tools with you, it's 1 Samuel, chapter 5, verse 11. And then we go to 2 Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 5, verse 11. Great day, see him.
Hey, Don, can you hear me good?
Yeah, baby, loud and clear. You clear too.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I went and got I went to Best Buy this morning and got a nice headset with the it goes around. Yeah. So
I need one of them motherfuckers because you sound clearer than a motherfucker.
Oh, that's great. I'm happy. Yes. Okay.
Happy my ass. You gonna tell me the name of it?
It's for the Xbox, but it's Steel Series.
Steel Series for the Xbox. And what you got it hooked up to?
It's a cord and it goes right into my phone.
What kind of phone you got? Apple or Android?
I got an Android.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna get that shit. I heard get a goddamn Xbox because I do got an Xbox and I do plan on gaming online. Right. But I was like, I ain't getting no goddamn fucking headset for no goddamn Xbox. But that's what I heard get.
Yeah, and it got a little mic piece to it. Yeah.
Man, you sound good, nigga.
That's
do your El Kuluwm. Let me hear you do the affirmation. Like, do it with your chest. Let me hear how clear that shit is. You don't talk as much. You know the affirmation? That nigga sound good, don't it? That nigga sound good, don't it? Nigga sound crisp.
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay. Okay. What's the affirmation?
Oh, never
Let me get
mind. Never mind.
I'm sorry.
Never mind.
I'm sorry.
How the hell your great-great-grandfather pointed by the owl and he anointed your ass and you don't know the fucking affirmation?
I do know it.
Never mind. Let's keep going. Give me Numbers 11, verse 23. Zena, what you got? And Tammuz, 1 Samuel chapter 5, verse 11. But my first, the hand of God. This is the explanation of the diagram of Shambhala. Remember I told you you got a diagram of Shambhala? It's in Job chapter 19, verse 21. Yod, the hand of God. Have pity upon me. Have pity upon me, O ye, my friends, for the land of, do it again. Have pity upon me, have pity upon me, O ye my friends, for the hand of God, Elo, have touched me. Ooh, that's Job. Go to Numbers 11, verse 23. I wonder where he's going with these verses.
And the Lord said unto Moses, is the Lord's hand waxed short? Thou shalt see now whether my word shall come to pass unto thee or not.
I wonder what he's talking about the hand of God for. What you got, Tammuz?
Okay, we got chapter 5, verse 11 in Samuel's.
Yes.
So they sent and gathered together all the lords of Philistines and said, send away the ark of the God of Israel and let it go again to his own place, that is to slay us not and our people. For
This
there was
Samuel.
yes, I think, yeah, First Samuel. Yeah.
Do it again. I wonder what the fuck you talking about then. What the hell does it got to do with the hand of God? Did I miss it? Do it again. 5 verse 11.
Yes. So they sent and gathered together all the lords of Philistine and said, send away the ark of the God of Israel and let it go again to his own place, that it slay us not and our people. For there was a deadly destruction throughout all the city, and the hand of God was very heavy there.
Ooh,
and the men.
There it is. You finished verse 11.
Yes.
All right. Samuel 2. Go to 2 Samuel. I don't know if that page is the 2 Samuel is right next to the 1 Samuel, but the 2 Samuel, Tammuz, chapter 24, verse 14. 2 Samuel, chapter 24, verse 14.
Okay.
So he's talking about the yod, the hand of God.
Verse 14. And David said unto God, I am in a great strait. Let me say that again. And David said unto God, I am in a great strait. Let us fall down now unto the hand of the Lord, for his mercy are great, and let me not fall into the hands of man. I'll read that again. And David said unto God, I am in a great strait. Let us fall now unto the hand of the Lord, for his mercies are great, and let me not fall into the hand of man. So the Lord said, yeah.
Is that all?
So the Lord, yeah, that's all.
Okay. All right. So just give us verse 14 once again.
And David said unto God, I am in a great strait. So I guess he's under distress. He has problems. I don't know. What does straight mean?
Oh yeah, David was catching it. Yeah, David was catching it, but I don't know what part in David's life for him to make that statement. You know what I'm saying? But David was catching it. So go ahead.
Okay. And David said unto God, I am in a great strait. Let us fall now into the hand of the Lord, for his mercies are great, and let me not fall into the hand of man.
I know.
Wow.
This hand, according to the concordance, it means the open hand of power, indicating the hand of power. So I'm pretty sure when he reading about the other hand, when he talk about the hand of man, it probably got a different concordance number. I ain't there, but this one is definitely indicating the power, the open power, the hand of God. You know, what he can do.
The one in 2 Samuel.
Yeah, 2 Samuel. What? I didn't catch it. I wanted to go look at it.
Oh, okay. Are you addressing David?
I'm just saying, Yod.
He's straight. Yeah, Yod, the hand of God. Yeah.
Yeah, Yod.
Yeah, I get it,
like
but I'm
hand
asking.
Power.
Right, but I was asking, I wonder where Dr. York is going with this, with the hand of God, with the Yod. Even though he's given us these verses to look at, but I wonder where he's going. And again, the explanation of Shambhala is coming up next. So I don't know why he gave us these verses. The Job, the Numbers, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, dealing with the hand of God. So let's figure this thing out. Let me keep going. So Shambhala is the capital of the biggest subterranean world. This palace of illumination within the earth has a central sun, which is 600 miles in diameter. The inner city is called Agartha, meaning through the hole. The temple within this subterranean world is called the Golden Palace, or in Ashuric Soretic Arabic, Wahala, meaning place of illumination, or with the golden aura, which is located in the capital called Shambhala. Shambhala means scented by Allah. Shambhala is a combination of the word Shama, meaning scent, and Allah, which gives you the most beautiful sense of Allah. Shambhala. Okay, let's see where he's going with this. You have the, if somebody can type in search or Google and look at these symbols, but it's the mathematical figures of all builders. These are the mathematical symbols of all builders. All shapes and forms are found here. All directions and paths that lead everywhere. You are my brother on the right path to the total truth. From the dot, we get the line, which forms the wall, which becomes the cube or ashla, brick, square. That was another question that the chick asked him, Zena, in the class I played the first hour. Remember, I typed it in the chat room and YouTube, and she was like, I got a question from the Black Book. Yeah, she said something like, I got a question from the Black Book. But her first question from the Black Book, one chick, the first chick in class had a question about the Black Book. Got a question from the Black Book on page 271. There was another chick that popped up asking questions about the Black Book, right? You know, that's our book right now, right? That's what we fought with. So, so the second chick asked him to explain the cube, and that's when he goes into the secret. This is how the class ended up becoming the hidden meaning of Freemasonry, because this chick asked about the cube. That's when he explained the cube, explained the square, if you listen to the first hour. And then he goes... And the uncut ashlar. And then he says the ashlar. Yep. Then that's how the class ended up being titled The Hidden Meaning of Freemason, because the second chick asked about the cube in the Black Book. Yeah. Yeah. See, it's always been there, right? This ain't even though I'm calling it Secrets Revealed, but the reveal has already been the secret. But, you know, this nigga gave it to the female. He just explaining that shit to her ass. And scaring, that's that part where he says, in order for me to get myself together, when he go like that. That's my favorite part. Yeah. All right. So you got the 4 angles of the original Arabic number. If you type that in, you'll be able to see the 4 angles. And if you look at the original Arabic numbers, you can Google that and see that. Then you have the 4 elements. This is all based on 4s now. The 4 elements. Remember the 4 parts of the planet Earth, the 4 fucking phases of the moon and shit. So you got the 4 elements. What are the 4 elements? Come on.
Earth, wind, fire, water, ether.
Do it again. What are the 4 elements?
Wind, earth, fire, and
you
water.
know there's no such thing as wind, so what's the other word for wind? We learned it in the Holy Tablets yesterday.
Ether.
What is water? What is water once you get out the air, the atmosphere, the air?
Vapor.
It's air. It's air. Indeed.
Air.
It's air. So do it again. Give me the 4 elements.
Air, water, fire, and I'm missing one. Sunshine.
What your feet on?
Earth.
Okay, do it again. Give me the 4 elements.
Earth. Earth, air, fire, water.
All right, and the 4 ways. This is going to be difficult but it's actually called the 4 ways. And Job, the devil does it. When they ask the devil, I'm going to tell you that. When they ask Satan, so I'm giving you the clue. Where have you been? So those are the 4 ways. Now give me the 4 ways.
Fire, air, water.
The 4 ways. In Job, I have to give you a clue. Because I never knew it was called the 4 ways. I'm pretty sure you didn't either.
Fro.
Damn. Ding, 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 ding. Those are the 4 ways. Up, down, to, fro. Go ahead, Zena. So smart.
That's what's up.
And 4 directions.
North, south, east, west.
Ding, 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 ding. You're so smart. All right. So you got 2, right? Of the 4 ways, 2, or toward the east. You see, that's your direction. Or toward the east, we will go. What we seek, only the privileged know. Let's do it again. To or toward the east, we will go. What we seek, only the privileged know. What do you think that is? Only, again, to or toward the east, we will go. What we seek, only the privileged know. What do you think it is?
Wisdom.
Or peace.
Close. Look at a black man. He gonna always yell peace. Peace, goddamn peace. Both that peace. There's a peace around this motherfucker. Okay, let's do it again. All right. To or toward the east, we will go. What we seek, only the privileged know.
I want to say the door, but I don't like that.
It's right there, man. Again, only the privileged know. Only the privileged know. So what do we seek?
Knowledge?
My man's right there. Ding,
Go
ding,
home.
ding, 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 ding. Knowledge, baby. So no. Duh, my people were perish for a lack of knowledge. So, to or toward the east, we will go. What we seek, only the privileged know. And what is that again?
Knowledge.
Knowledge. Right? And privilege, you get the word ledge. Ledge. He fixed it up though. Know, knowledge, no ledge, to know. K-N-O-W. There's your 1, 2, 3, 4. K-N-O-W. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's break down the numbers for now. For no. You ready? K. What number is it? You don't
10th
know?
letter?
11.
11th number. Yep. No. Okay, write down these numbers in, because we got to add them up. K is the 11th number. N, what number is that? What number is N? LMN.
15?
14. Right? 11
14?
plus, yeah, 11 plus 3 is 14, right? No, wait. 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, that's N, right? KLMN, right? It's a 14 number, right? Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
11 plus 14, all right. What's the letter for O? The number for O? N-O is 14N.
15.
Then 15. 11 plus 14 plus 15, and now we got to get to W. What number is W in the alphabet? K-N-O-W.
23?
23rd letter.
23. Is that
Yeah, 23rd. Yeah, W is the 23rd letter, and now add them up. So you got 11 plus 14 plus 15 plus 23 equals
63.
63, baby. And 6 plus 3 equals
9.
9.
The Masonic secret number, baby. No. All about knowing, baby. All about knowing. That's it. 6 plus 3 is 9. That's the Masonic secret number. I stand on the square, and the knowledge revealed to me, the other Masonic brothers I can only share. I stand on the square, and the knowledge revealed to me, to other Masonic brothers I can only share. All right, now we're about to go into the EA. What does EA stand for again, boys and girls?
Enter the apprentice.
Entered apprentice. The first degree is knowledge, okay? And knowledge is one light. EA, the first degree is knowledge. Knowledge is one light. All right, we got some Bible verses. Let me go ahead and give them to you now. Light is originally fire, which can be used for constructive or destructive purpose. This is what Dr. York been trying to be talking about the whole time, like after the year 2000 or going into the year 2000. He kept trying to explain to these fuckers that you have good light and bad light. I know you probably heard that class a few times, Zena. Remember, he was talking to this chick, and he was like, if somebody burns a baby, is that bad light or good light? Because she had an issue because she thought light was all good. And she could not say that light would be bad, right? Then he said, fuck that, this shit ain't working. He said, so your daughter, you walk into a dark room and the light is off, and your daughter failed to tell you, don't turn this light on because it will blind you. And because she failed to tell you that shit, you turned the light on and you blind. Now, is that good light or bad light? And then she was like, that's bad light. He said, because it's personal. You want to debate with me about the baby and the fire getting burnt up, but now that it's personal, it's bad light to you. Yo, that shit there, that's my part. He's been trying to explain bad light to these motherfuckers for a long time. Still can't get it. Even in the comment, now I got to tell y'all about the comment under the Freemason, hidden meaning of Freemason. So remember he said darkness is intellect, right? Darkness is not ignorance, right? So the person left a comment under that YouTube class and says, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? We have a light in us, and darkness is ignorance, some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all depending on how you're going to hold on to all these lies and keep walking lies, you know? You know what I'm talking about? Because there's so many fucking truths about darkness that they hide. You know what I'm saying? The most intellectual motherfucker in Hollywood in any movie is, you know what I'm saying, is dark, is into dark. Is into darkness, right? You know what I'm talking about? They have a cave, little dark ass shit, all that type of shit. One of the most, every time they show you a bad motherfucker, they show you a bad motherfucker in dark. You know what I'm saying? Somebody with a lot of intellect. They either have on black all black, you know what I'm saying? All types of shit. It shows that darkness is intellect. And if darkness is ignorance, then where do you get the intellect to turn on the light if you're in the dark? So that means intellect dwells in darkness. It all makes sense, but for everybody else, man, they want to still hold on to this lie. So we about to get into constructive and destructive light. Psalms chapter 139, verse 12. Zena, you do that, and Tammuz, take me to Luke chapter 10, verse 18. So, because remember now, the EA, the first degree is knowledge, and knowledge is one light. Light is originally fire, which can be used for constructive or destructive purposes. So now let's go to Psalms chapter 139, verse 12. Tammuz, go to Luke 10, verse 18. And we got 2 Jobs coming up next. So 3 Jobs, and then 1 Isaiah. So let's see. See, it's all in the Bible explaining what it is. Let's go. Psalms chapter 139, verse 12.
Yea, darkness hideth not from thee, but the night shineth as the day. The darkness and the night are both alike to thee.
One more time.
Yea, the darkness hideth not from thee, but the night shineth as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to thee.
Alike are alike to you, right? Or thee means me, or thee means you. Thy means you, right? Thee means me. Yeah, thee means me, right? Read it one more time. Can you put the English language exchanger for the these and thous and shit so I can understand it? Can you do it again?
The darkness hide not from you, but the night shineth as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to you.
One more time.
Yea, the darkness hide not from you, but the night shine as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to you.
One more fucking time.
Yes, the darkness. Yes, the darkness hide not from you.
Okay, stop.
But the
darkness hide not from you. The darkness don't hide from you. Got it. The darkness don't hide from you. Got it. One more time. The darkness don't hide from you. I'm ready.
But the night shineth as the day.
But the night shines as the day. So the darkness don't hide from you. And the night shines as the day. Okay. All right. What happens next?
The darkness and the light are both alike to you.
The darkness and the light are both what?
Alike to you.
They both the same.
Mm-hmm.
The darkness and the light are both the same to you. Okay, got it. Let's go to Luke chapter 10, verse 18. Then when you get a chance, go to Job 18, verse 5, and stay in Job. Okay, you got something to say?
Yeah, I was reading at verse 11 before 12, and it said, if I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be light about me. And then he go on to, yes, the darkness.
Okay, yeah, let's stick to 12. I know what he's saying. Okay. He's getting at the fact that, remember now, what are we doing here? We're doing the first degree of knowledge, and knowledge is one light. You get it? So if knowledge is one light, then Psalms chapter 139, verse 12 tells you darkness and light are alike. And that's where you find knowledge. It's the same. You know what I'm saying? It's still a light because the darkness shines in the day.
to you, right? That don't mean it's
Man,
real. That just means
to you part, man. No. Just the fact that, boo, we EAs. So yes, the answer is yes. We EAs around this motherfucker. Because remember now, the whole Bible is based on Masonic jargon, Masonic doctrine. So this is why he's given us all these verses to wake up the Mason in you. Let me just use that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all there. Remember, we went through the tassel, the fez that hang down past the beard and shit, and the apron. You know what I'm saying? Spoke about the apron and how you should keep it down and shit. All of that, and the G's, plus the sun we just read. You know what I'm saying? How the sun is all over this bitch. So this is dealing with intellect. This is dealing with knowledge. So this is all symbolic, you know what I'm saying, of light, of intellect, of knowledge. That's all this shit is. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, to you. Right, yay. Light and dark are the same to you, but to everybody else that ain't got into the greater mysteries, yeah, that's separated to them. That's separate. So they feel like they can only get knowledge from light, but you can get knowledge from light and dark because it's the same. And the truth is that yes, you've got knowledge in the daytime as well as the shadow. So they are the same. You will find it any and everywhere. You don't have to wait till the sun appears to rise, or you don't have to wait till the sun sits here to set to get your knowledge. So it works on both sides is what it's saying, because we're dealing with Masonic right now, not a Christian. You know what I'm saying? With Christians, they separate everything, right? From light and dark, right? Good and bad, God and the devil. Right? But in right knowledge, they're all the same. You hear me?
Yes.
Right. In right knowledge, they're all the same, right? In Nuwapu, they're all the same. So this is where we're getting it. So Psalms 139, verse 12 is, they're all the same to you. But for everybody else, they got their likings. I like daytime. I like nighttime. But for you, it's all the same, my brother and sister. Because I'm pretty sure you got your intellect, no matter what time of day it was, you still, the light came on for yours. Right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope that helps, Zena. Let's go to Luke chapter 10, verse 18.
Lo, and he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven.
There it is. One more time.
And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven.
So what is that saying?
That Satan is a light, and I guess you can gain something from Satan.
A lightning, yeah. And of course, right before we got into Psalms and Luke, it says again, light is originally fire, which can be used for constructive or destructive purposes. So he sees Satan as lightning. Got it?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
And that's interesting because when we were little, I remember hearing when there's lightning and thunder and they'll say the devil beating his wife. They would equate lightning with the devil. Y'all never heard that shit? The devil beating his wife. I remember hearing that shit. Okay. Zena, you there? Can we go to Job, chapter 18, verse 5?
Yes, hold on. Job 18:5. All right.
Yeah, and then stay in Job because we got to go to Job 90. So let's hear about this light is originally fire, which can be used. So we got Psalms as both the day and the night are alike. And Luke, Lucifer, or Satan is like lightning.
All right.
And now we're going
Yea.
to Job 18, verse 5.
Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine.
So it's showing us that the wicked also has light. And more than likely, it's showing us that the wicked use the light for destructive purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Give it to me one more time about the wicked.
Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine.
Mm-hmm. Light is originally fire. So stay in Job, Zena, and take us to chapter 90, verse 8. And while she go to Job 90, Tammuz, you go to Isaiah, chapter 5, verse 20.
There ain't no Job 90, Don.
Ain't no Job
90?
Chapter 90.
No.
Well, you got me there, bitch. Ain't no Job 90. Yeah, ain't no 90 fucking chapters in that motherfucker, is it? Maybe
42.
9. Check 9. Check Job chapter 9, verse 8. Maybe that's what it is.
Job
And we
9,
may not know what it say. Maybe.
Which alone spreadeth out the heavens and treadeth upon the waves of the sea.
Well, nope, that ain't it. So fuck it. Then go to Job 21, verse 17. What up, logistics? Great day, Lucy Gray. Yeah, go to Job chapter 21, verse 17. And we can't get that Job 90, verse 8 then, huh? I don't know what the fuck that's saying.
How oft is the candle of the wicked put out, and how oft cometh their destruction upon them? God distributeth sorrows in his anger.
So it's still showing you that they have a light and it's used destructively. The fire. All right. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. And Zena, you get a chance, go to Proverbs chapter 13, verse 9.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter.
Ooh, one more time.
Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter.
What the fuck? What the hell? Woe unto them that what? Be switching shit up.
Yeah, yeah.
Do it one more
We
time.
see that in the.
You see it where?
We see it in the media and in TV. They just pushing things that are evil for good. All of this young people determining their sex at 9 years old and 8 years old, stuff like that.
One more again. Wow.
Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter.
Goodness gracious. When they say that woe unto them, Zena, what the strong concordance be saying, what that woe means? Like, curse be unto them or some shit?
I know it kind of mean like take heed, but I don't know. I have to find it. When you got to send me to one where it say woe so I can look it up.
Oh, we just did. It's Isaiah 5:20.
Okay.
It say woe in it. Yeah. Let's find out what that woe is. Because even Jesus say, woe unto the mothers who give suck in those days.
Whoa. It means, O-H, exclamation mark. Oh. That's what it says. Oh, I lied.
They lying. That woe bad.
Oh.
That woe bad. Don't give a fuck.
Yeah, because it is bad. We woe unto.
Yeah,
there's always something bad to follow.
Yeah. Oh, unto them that give blah blah blah, and bitter the sweet and sweet the bitter. Oh, unto them. Get the fuck out of here. The Bible's full of curses. You know they cursing. You got me on Job. No, Proverbs 13:9.
Yeah, I got you. All right. The light of the righteous rejoices, but the lamp of the wicked shall be put out.
They don't want to put out the wicked light, man. They do not like the wicked light. So the EA, the first degree is knowledge. Knowledge is one light. Light is originally fire, so which can be used for constructive or destructive purposes. And we have actually seen and read it throughout Psalms, Luke, Job, and Isaiah and Proverbs. They made a difference, a distinction between the two lights. Now, I don't know how to explain this one on page 125, but I'm going to do my best. This is the 33 degrees, 11 bodies of lessons of 3 classes each. Okay? The first degree of EA is realization. And it's 3 degrees in each one, three classes in each. So if I can explain this shit. The first degree of inter-apprentice is realization. Got it? And that is, what is man? What is woman? What are animals? Got it?
Mm-hmm.
That's realization. These are questions. First degree, realization. What is man? 1, 2, what is woman? And 3, what is animals? Anybody know those answers? I can guess. I can guess.
Yeah. What was the question, guys? Sorry. What is man, animal, and woman?
The first degree of EA is realization, right? And remember, it's 3 classes each. So in realization is what is man, 1, 2, what is woman, and 3, what are animals?
Beast.
Maybe.
I always gotta say that. No, this is why I say that. Because in the concordance they got the word spirit, beast, animal, and something else. I got it all written down years ago, but they all share the same concordance number. They all share the same concordance number.
Yeah, even in the how do you call it? Even in the definition, the word for human is animal, and the word for animal is human.
Yeah.
The definition, the meaning. Yeah. They both have the same meaning. Yeah. I don't know, man. I hope he give us these answers. All right. So the second degree of inter-apprentice is meaning of Mason. And is what is a Mason? Why are there Masons? Who all are or were Masons? The third degree of EA is who are the Masons? 1, what is Masonry? 2, where can Masons be found? 3, are there female Masons? The answer is yes. Masons can be found in lodges. What is Masonry? Building. I can do that myself. EA identification. The EA fourth degree is identification. Meet your background. The EA, the fourth degree of EA is identification. Remember, it's 33 degrees, so we got to go through 11 bodies of lessons of 3 classes each. And the fourth degree is identification. How do you recognize a Mason? 2, what is the true history of Masonry? 3, What do all Masons have in common? The fifth degree of EA classification. One, the fifth degree EA is classification. Excuse me, that's your fifth degree classification. And that's one, is there racism in Masonry? Two, is the Masonic order a religion? Three, is the Masonic order a cult? The sixth degree in Enter-Apprentice is works. What are we as Masons building? Two, who are we as Masons building for? Three, what do we as Masons need to build? And for the record, I think we can all answer that since we moved past. We're on page 126. We've been reading this bitch for 5 weeks now, since it's week 5. Meet your background. And that is, these questions are quite simple, I think. I could be wrong. But what are we as Masons building? Self. Who are we as Masons building for? Self. What do we as Masons need to build? Self. I'm making this shit up. This could be it. Yeah, because it's all about your spiritual self, grounding off your actions, squaring off your deeds, and all that fucking shit. It's all about the self. Yeah. Everything in the lodge is symbolic of the physical, but it actually deals with the spiritual self, the knowledge of self. You know, but I could be wrong in these answers. Degree, the 7th degree of EA is time. How old is Masonry? Who founded the Masonic order? And 3, why does Masonry exist? The 8th degree of EA is health. I wonder where we learn all this shit. Health, okay? The 8th degree is health. 1, Masonic dietary laws. 2, Masonry and physical health. 3, Masonry in birth, youth, elders, death. The 9th degree of Enter-Apprentice is belief. Beliefs. 1, what religion are Masons? 2, which supreme do Masons believe in? 3, do Masons believe in heaven and hell? The 10th degree is secrecy. 1, do Masons have secrets? 2, what must Masons keep secretive from the public? 3, why must Masons keep the secret? The 11th degree is obligation. 1, Masonic and family. 2, Masonic and responsibility. 3, Masonic and employment. 33 degrees equals MM, Master Mason. 33 degrees equals Master Mason. And the original Arabic numbers, it looks like a 3 or an M. If you take the 3 in the Arabic number and turn that bitch downward, you get an MM. 33 for Master Mason. I'll show you all this shit, man. They've been doing this shit forever. All right. We got the Blue Lodges degrees. So that was the EA degrees. And optional is the York and Scottish Rite degrees, the Blue Lodge. So you have the York Rite and you have the Scottish Rite. Y'all familiar with the York and the Scottish Rites, right? Kind of, sort of, just a little bit. Of course, with the Scottish Rites, you have the Enter-Apprentice Fellow Craft Master Masons. Yeah, I'm not going to read all that. You just got to see the breakdown. All right, so what is the difference between a Mason and Masonic? What's the difference between a Mason and Freemason? What's the difference between Masonry and Freemasonry? Operative. What's the difference between an operative Mason and a speculative Mason? The symbolic meaning of Mason. Oh, you want to do it?
No. I want to I can't wait till we get the answer to that. A speculative Mason and an operative Mason. That's all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Operative, yeah. So what's the difference between a Mason and Masonic? A Mason and Freemason. Masonry and Freemasonry. Operative Mason and speculative Mason. The symbolic meaning of Mason, what is it? What is the symbolic meaning of my son? There it is right there. Ma, mother, right?
Yeah.
And son, boy. Ma is short for Sumerian mammy. M-A-M-M-I or M-A-M-I. Mam-me. M-A-M-M-E-E or Mametum. 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 M-A-M-M-I-T-U-M. Mametum. The mother deity or goddess who protects all mortals. Taken from Ma'at or Mat, the Egyptian mother goddess of justice, the mother of justice. Ma'at is the Netert, guardian or supreme being of order. Your heart or deeds are weighed against the principles of Ma'at, which determines where your soul will go after judgment. The damn female decide whether or not you motherfuckers burn in hell or reign supreme in heaven. Wow. This is a motherfucker here. Boy, that's what my daddy said. Brothers, we are cursed for what we did to that woman. Ma'at is the Netert, guardian or supreme being of order. Your heart or deeds are weighed against the principles of Ma'at, which determines where your soul will go after judgment. Ma'at symbol is the feather, as seen in the next picture. Another name for Mammy is Ninti or Nintu. Nin equals lady and Tai equals life. Ninti. The Sumerian word Ninti means birth or one who gives birth, a mother. You also have Ninki, meaning lady of earth. So the English use of mama, mom, mommy, is from Sumerian mumu, Mercury. You hear this shit? Mumu, Mercury. Okay. The story goes, the birth of the solar system, as described in the tablets of Sumeria, the sun, Apsu, and its messenger, Mercury, Mumu, were joined by an older planet called Tiamat, Earth. As you can see, the word Ma is the female procreator as Mare, or in Hebrew, Mariam, or Arabic, Mariam, Miriam, and in English, Mare. Marie's home planet is Mars. That's what Ninti was, wasn't she? Wasn't she in Mars in that damn laboratory? It says Mari, or Mare, home planet is Mars, Lamu. It's also Mu and Mo, which is the symbol of the moon, lunar reflection. Let's go to sun. Sun is from sun, S-U-N. Let's do it again. Sun, S-O-N, is from sun, S-U-N, or Sal, S-A-L, or soul, S-O-L, soul, R. In Sumerian, it's Apsu. In Akkadian, it became Shemesh, the bright one. In Ugarit, it's Utu. In Ashuric Arabic, it's Shamsu. In Aramic Hebrew, it's Shemesh, symbol of light illuminate. In Egyptian, it's Re or Ra, 1,000 points of light. So you have sun, S-O-N, sun, S-U-N, and Ma dash sun, may sun. Genesis chapter 1, verse 16. And God, or Elohim, made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. In Isaiah chapter 60, verse 19, it talks about the moon. Is it the moon and the sun? I think so. But anyway, Isaiah chapter 60, verse 19. The sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee. But the Lord Yahweh shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy God, Elohim, thy glory. We read Isaiah chapter 60, verse 19 earlier. Then you have John, the son of Zebedee, and John, the son of Baptist. That is some really good fucking information about John, the son of Zebedee, and John, the son of Baptist. Interesting. All right, Psalm chapter 139, verse 12. We did that. Ye, the darkness hideth not from you, but the night shine as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to you. I am that I am. That's where you get your Jachin, right? And Boaz. Jachin is John the Baptist. Boaz is John, son of Zebedee. John the Baptist, reincarnation of Elijah, which is the forerunner of Yeshua or Isa or Jesus. Boaz is John, son of Zebedee. You'll find a lot of little niggas who know a little bit about masonry and shit, how they use Boaz a lot. Jachin is St. John the Baptist, the devoted, which is symbolic of Elijah, which takes you back to the book of Malachi, chapter 4, verse 5, where it says, behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. You got Mishpat. That's a pillar. That's Boaz. Sadek, like Malachi, Sadek, Sadiq, Joachim. Yeah. Sun established. Celestial orb. All right. Anyway, so these are the two obelisk needles. One of Heru or Horus, and the other Satuk, Set, Typhoon. They are represented by the celestial and terrestrial globes. Tatu and Tatat denotes two pillars, a symbol of stability and support of the north, south, east, and west, the four corners, and is the square. Thus, to Tatat, the entrance of the temple is equivalent to the double square. Two checkpoints. All right. Oh, this is my favorite one. Before you are allowed into the temple, this is what they ask you. Question. Can you tie a bow? Anybody know about that one? This is some powerful shit, because this is the part where I know I've been knowing these answers, but looking in the book, he explains it. Remember I said Boaz, right? Boaz and Choctum and Jachin. Remember I said that? Boaz and Choctum, which is John, son of Zebedee, and John the Baptist, right? Well,
you mean Jachin?
Yeah, Jachin. Yeah, Jachin. Yeah. So, can you tie a bow? The word bow is in there, right? Can you tie a bow? Your answer is as well as the next fellow. You get it? Bow as. Can you tie a bow as well as the next motherfucker? Well, you got to say fellow. Can you say motherfucker? It might cut your throat before you enter the temple. You get it? Bow as. See, I'm glad I got this book. Can you tie a bow as well as the next fellow? So I'm going to ask you again. Can you tie a bow?
As well as the next fellow.
As well as the next fellow.
And you see Boaz is right next to each other, right? Can you tie a bow?
As well as the next fella.
Boaz. Right. And the next one is, what is the sign of the wisdom of Jah? That's another question they ask you before you enter the temple. What is the sign of the wisdom of Jah? Come on, I gave y'all the answers in the name. You got Boaz. What's the other one? Zena, you said it.
Sign of wisdom. I don't know.
No. What is the sign of the wisdom of Jah?
Yeah. A bow.
Remember, if it's can you tie a bow and you say as, then what is the sign of the wisdom of Jah? I gave you that. Who is son of Zebedee, John of Zebedee? I mean, shit. Fuck. Who is Boaz? Who is John? Zebedee. John of Zebedee. Jachin. Zena, Jachin. You ready? You ready? Fuck it. Tammuz. Who is the sign? What is the sign of the wisdom of Jah?
10.
10. Thank you. And the answer is 10 hairs. Okay.
I ain't getting
Okay.
that. Right.
So you ain't getting it. Can you get it?
Come again with it, please.
I'll take it back. God damn it. Y'all wasn't listening. I was doing that Boaz and Jachin ass shit. Okay. Remember, John, son of Zebedee. John the Baptist. I am that I am. Jachin is John the Baptist. Boaz is John, son of Zebedee. Got it? Jachin is in Malachi chapter 45 as St. John the Baptist. Behold, I will send you Elijah. Got it? Boaz is John, son of Zebedee. So now the 2 checkpoints before you are allowed to enter into the temple. Can you tie a bow?
As well as the next
As well
fella.
as the next fella.
Boaz, right? In him is strength. Bow as well as the next fellow. Can you tie a bow as well as the next fellow? Boaz. The next question is, what is a sign of the wisdom of Jah?
Chin hairs.
Jachin.
God, but see,
yeah, baby.
Because I'm not looking at it, I'm just listening to you. And I know there's a name, Joktan, Joktan, I think it's spelled. And then you have, like, the way people pronounce it, Joaquin, where it's spelled J-O something Chin. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's Jachin. Yeah, it's Jah. Jachin. That's why the answer is chin hairs. What is the sign of the wisdom of Jah? What's the answer?
A chin.
Chin hairs. And so remember, can you tie a bow? So you got Jachin and Boaz. Remember, those are your 2. Those John the Baptist and John, son of Zebedee.
Okay.
Right. So they're asking you about John, the 2 Johns before you get through the temple. Right? So can you tie a bow?
As well as the next fella.
What is the sign of wisdom of Jah?
Chin hairs.
Chin hairs.
Chin. Jachin and Boaz. Yep. Jachin hairs. Yeah. And Boaz well as the next fella. That shit hot. These motherfuckers got their little sacred honeycomb hideout signs and shit. Shit cute. 1 Kings chapter 7 verse 21. And he set up the pillars in the porch of the temple. And he set up the right pillar and called the name thereof Jachin. And he set up the left pillar and called the name thereof Boaz. Look at this. All fucking Masonic lodges. You see that? This is in 1 Kings. So remember I was reading about the pillars? The 2 tat pillars of Haru and Satuk. Remember? The tattoo and the tat.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about the pillars. Well, in First Kings, it tells you. So when you go into the Masonic Lodge, you'll see the two pillars. But first, before you enter, you got to answer a question. Can you tie a boat? And what is the sign of wisdom of Jah? And when you walk in, boom, you're looking at First Kings chapter 7, verse 21. And he set up the pillars in the porch of the temple, and he set up the right pillar and called the name thereof Jachin. And he set up the left pillar and called the name thereof Boaz.
Right.
Got it? 2 Samuel chapter 22, verse 7. In my distress, and we did this one, in my distress I call upon the Lord, Yahayu, and cried to my gods, Elohim. And he did hear my voice out of his temple, and my cry did enter into his ears. Question, how many secrets are in masonry?
13.
Now, guess again. How many secrets are in masonry?
No.
Those are degrees. The answer is 1. So I ask you again. How many secrets are in masonry?
1.
Can you share that 1 with me?
Only if you're a fellow Mason.
No, that is not the answer. Well, good try. The answer is not at this point. Let's do it again. How many secrets are in masonry?
1.
Can you share that 1 with me?
Not at this point.
Ding, ding, ding. Can you tie a bow?
As good as the next fella.
And the word good ain't in there. Can you tie a bow?
As well as the next fella.
What is the sign of the wisdom of Jah?
Chin. Chin hairs.
Chin hairs. There it is. Right. Because it's interesting that it's chin hairs, because when you start saying about the age of 13, boys end up getting chin hairs and shit. So that's a stage of showing wisdom, chin hairs. So what is the sign of the wisdom of Jah? Chin hairs.
Chin hairs.
Boaz means in him is strength, and Jachin means he shall establish. All right, so how many secrets are in masonry?
1.
1.
Can you share that 1 with me?
Not at this point.
Okay, Zena, goddamn EA. This bitch already moving on. Not at this point. Not at this point. Go ahead. All right. So Psalms chapter 25, verse 14. The secret of the Lord, Yahayu, is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant. Key word here is the secret. The secret. Got it? The secret. So it only lets you know there's 1. The secret of the Lord, Yahayu, is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant. Question, how many rooms are in the blue house? Go to Kings chapter 1. Go to 1 Kings chapter 6:2. I'm sorry. Yeah, 1 Kings chapter 6:2. It should tell us how many rooms are in the blue house. I think. It could be wrong. See, they're telling us all this shit. It's in the fucking Bible the whole time. The Bible was not for you to be hoopling and hollering. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get closer to God. Like, the Bible is it's the Masonic book. It's the Masonic holy book, man. That's wild. 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 2. How many rooms are in the blue house? 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 2. The answer is 3. That's the temple of Solomon is the house. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1 through 3. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw also the Lord Adonai sitting upon the throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Verse 2. Above it stood the seraphim. Each one had 6 wings. With twain he covered his face, And with twain he covered his feet, and with twain he did fly. Verse 3. And one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Yahayu of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. You have a threefold declaration of holiness. That holy, holy, holy. Now take your ass to Revelation chapter 4, verse 8, and it says, And the four beasts had each of them 6 wings about them, and there were full of eyes within, and they rest not day and night, saying, Holy, 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 Lord God, Yahayu, Elohim, Almighty, El Shaddai, which was and is to come. So, question, can you share what the rooms are with me? Ooh-wee. Guess what the answer is? Can you share what the rooms are with me? 1, secrets within. 2, secrets within. 3, secrets. This is stupid. Question, what is the arrangement of these rooms? Answer, the porch on which you as an EA do stand. So there it is. Here's the arrangement of your rooms. 1 Kings chapter 1, 1 through 22. 1 Kings 4, 1 through 17. That's your porch. The Holy of Holies, in which is the Ark of the Covenant. Ooh, so it's 1 Kings chapter 1, verse 22, chapter 1 Kings, verse 4, verse. Damn, man, this is some interesting shit here. It's all in the goddamn Bible. That's your porch. How many degrees are in the Masonic order? Y'all should know that. How many degrees are only in the Masonic order? Come on. Dario said it many times in classes. No, do it again. How many degrees?
3.
In the ding, 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 ding. And of course, you should know that there's only 3 degrees, right? We just played it. I just played it that first hour, right? He said plus honorary, right? And what's your 3 degrees?
Person, places,
Come
and
on.
things.
No, not that one. Rewind it back a little bit. What are your 3 degrees? What the first degree? What the book are we reading? That should help. Your first degree is, what's the name of the book we're reading? Think. What's this book for? Who is this book for?
I don't know the name of the book.
Nigga, we're reading the Masonic book, but who is this book for? What's the first degree? We're reading the first degree. So what's the first degree? We've been saying it the whole time this year. I mean, through this whole show and for the 5 episodes. 5 weeks now. I didn't know it's been 5 weeks. God damn. Say it again. Say it, Zena.
I said EA. I don't know that.
Ding, ding, ding. EA. The first degree is enter apprentice. Ding, ding, ding. That's your first degree. What's your second degree? They call the second degree the middle chamber. So what's the second degree? FC. What does FC stand for? Come on. Fellow craft. Now I know the third degree, y'all will know. What's the third degree? From EA into apprentice, FC, fellow craft to what? What's your third degree? Master Mason, man. Those are your 3 degrees. The rest of them is honorary advancement. So it's only 3 degrees in the Masonic order. EA, into apprentice, FC, fellow craft, and Master Mason. Okay?
Yeah.
That's like, he says it all the time in classes. You know what I'm saying? It's only 3 degrees. It's only 3 degrees. Great day, Ethereum. You should have called in and played with us. than Brainy Smurf in this motherfucker. Yeah, so it's only 3 degrees. You know what I'm saying? Then anybody said we only gave the cracker 3 degrees. We only gave the cracker 3 degrees. That's EAFC and Master Masons. All right. So here's how it works, if I can help you guys out. As a matter of fact, go to Exodus 26, verse 33. Zena, if you can. And Tammuz, go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16. Because it's going to tell you about the middle chamber, if I'm not mistaken, in Exodus chapter 26, verse 33. Zena.
All right. And thou shalt hang the veil under the taches, that thou mayest bring in cider within the veil, the ark of the testimony. And the veil shall divide unto you between the holy place and the most holy.
That's the middle chamber. Yeah, that's the middle chamber. So by the time when we get to 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16, Tammuz, are you there yet? It talks about Solomon's floor plan, right? This is fucking interesting because I know it's not going to be what the fuck we think it is. Somebody read, Tammuz, read 1 Corinthians 3, verse 16.
Nevertheless, when it shall turn to the Lord, the veil shall be taken away. Nevertheless, when it says, nevertheless, when it shall turn to the Lord, the veil shall be taken away. Okay.
All right. So now I'm going to ask y'all again. What are the 3 degrees? What's the first degree?
EA.
Okay. And so far, what we learned about EA, right, is what? What did we learn so far for these past 5 weeks? I said a few of them. What have we learned? What is EA all about? The genitals. Cover yourself. Subdue your passions. Remember that? Don't raise your aprons. It's your lower nature, right? So EA is to get you from your lower nature, right, to FC, the middle chamber. And what is the middle chamber of your body? What's in it? Damn, skip it. The heart. So now you done raised up from your ding-a-ling or your cootie-wootie to the middle chamber, fellow craft, which is the body, which is the heart. And what do you think the 3rd degree of Master Mason is on the body?
The mind, the brain.
The brain. There it is, baby. The fucking brain. The Holy of Holies is what they're saying for the head. The holy place is what they're saying for the heart. You got it? Right. So if we read it again, we'll see those words. The Holy of Holies is which is the Ark of the Covenant. So where is the Ark of the Covenant? The brain, the Master Mason, the head. Yep. So you go from EA, your genitals, 2-ball cane, and leave them alone and focus in on the middle chamber, FC, the heart, and raise on up to the Holy of Holies. The heart is the holy place. The 3rd is the brain, the head, the Holy of Holies, Master Masons. So by the time we become Master Masons, or one becomes a Master Mason, they should be the Holy of Holies because they're using nothing more than their head, their brain. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And protecting the heart. Right. Yeah. So the holy temple is the body. That's your Holy of Holies. That's your temple. And remember in the older Dr. York books, Etherian, he'll give us the whole body diagram, but it's the yod, the hay, the wah, the WHWH. Remember, he'll draw a picture of the body, and you can actually see the Hebrew letters in it. Does that sound familiar, Zena, to you? Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's what we're looking at.
I know exactly
So that is, see this shit? It's all in us. So so you have Yod, Hay, which is the Yod is the head. The Hay in Hebrew is, if you look at the symbol, is from your shoulder to the other shoulder, down, from your underarm down to your waist, and the right side underarm down to your waist. That's your Hay. And your Wa is in the center, where your heart is, going all the way down to your navel. And then he give us the Hay. From the Hay in Hebrew, is across your stomach line, I guess, and down your leg and down your other leg. And that's where you'll find God. YHWH, Yahuwah, or Yahayu. It's in you. So we're looking at that figure, Zena, the modern Hebrew letters of Yahweh or Yahuwah make the image of a man. Those are all the letters. Powerful, right? So he always put that in there, but I bypass that shit every time. Now I'm looking at the shit. Okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19. What does it say? What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost which is in you? Look at this shit. You hear that? 1 Corinthians, somebody grab it. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19. Look at this. You don't know that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost which is in you. That's what the 1 Corinthians say. You don't know that your body is a goddamn temple, that the Holy Ghost is in you. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost which is in you, which ye have God's, and ye have not your own. Oh. Which ye have God's, Theos Elohim translation, and ye have not your own. What is that saying here? You know what it's saying, boys and girls? You got, yet there are gods, but ye have not your own. You didn't have your own. What? Ye, know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost which is in you, which you have gods, and ye have not your own. 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 11 through 12. And the word of the Lord, Yahayu, came to Solomon, saying, concerning this house which thou art in building, if thou wilt walk in my statutes and execute my judgments and keep all my commandments to walk in them, then I will perform my word with you, which I have spoken unto David thy father. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Turning from man to Allah. That's what added that. Rebuttal to slanders is about. From man to Allah. The resurrection. All right. So let's move on, because now he's giving us the circles and all that type of shit, and I can't really show y'all this shit. And Genesis talks about the shield of David, the star of David, the shield of Solomon, the star of Hesperiah, the seal of Muhammad, and the Nuwapic symbol, the Ugaric, the Akkadian, and the Sanskrit. And that's going to take us somewhere else. So Genesis chapter 1, verse 16. Can somebody grab it? Because I don't know what it says. I can guess. He made stars also symbol of children. The sun, moon, and stars are family. Is that what it say, Zena?
It say, and God made two great lights, the greater light and to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also.
Also symbol of children. Yeah. So the sun, moon, and stars is family. The family of the universe, which I totally disagree with this order. The father is the S-U-N. The mother is the and the children, STARS. You believe that, Zena? I don't believe that bullshit. But anyway, the family of the universe. That's a fucking lie. That's a goddamn lie. Anyway, the IOTD is the inner intendant of the building. Let's move on. Then you have the middle prince of the tabernacle and blah, blah, blah. Then you have the MOTRS, the masters of the royal secret. You got to study these symbols and you'll be able to see them all everywhere. Now, we got 10 minutes and we're about to go into overtime, but let me say this because this here is about to get fucking twisted. The Gregorian or Christian calendar is a solar calendar. It was originally based on Enoch's birth and death, 365 days or 365 years or 365 days of years. So you go to Genesis chapter 5, verse 23, it'll say, and all the days of Enoch were 365 years. You see it? And mind you, it was the white man that wanted to write about Enoch and say he translated because they didn't know how to do it. Know what the fuck it is. But anyway, in Genesis chapter 5, verse 23, and all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Why? Because Enoch was the timekeeper. So if you go to Jude chapter 1, verse 14 through 15, you will see it. And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these saying, behold, the Lord Yahayu cometh with 10,000s of his saints to execute judgment upon all and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches, which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. Enoch equals what? Equinox. Get it? Enoch equals equinox, which is, what's the equinox again? We read it this morning, today, on the Sabbath show, 24,000 years. Equinox, 24,000 years. And in Genesis chapter 5, verse 24, what did it say? And Enoch walked with God, and Enoch was not, for God took him. Also in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 5, it says, by faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death and was not found because God had translated him. For before his translation, he had this testimony that he pleased God. So you see how Enoch's birth and death ties in with solar. And the word solar means sun. Psalms chapter 84, verse 11, for the Lord God, Yahayu Elohim, is a sun and shield. The Lord Yahayu will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly. A solar year is based on one revolution of the earth around the sun, or 365 days. Genesis chapter 5, verse 23. It is calculated without reference to the moon. The method it uses to determine the dates of Easter and other Christian holidays, however, are based on both solar and lunar calculations. The calendar was quickly adopted by Roman Catholic countries and eventually by every Western country, in addition to Japan, Mayan, and China. It is from Egypt, where Enoch is known as Narmer and Menes. Wow, set me straight. The Hebrew calendar in use today begins at the creation, which they calculated to have occurred 3,760 years before the Christian era, or 4004 BCE, before the Christian era. The week consists of 7 days, ending with the Sabbath, Saturday. The year consists of 12 lunar months, which are alternately 29 and 30 days long, because a year is some 11 days longer than 12 lunar months. A 13th month is added 7 times during every 19-year cycle, and this is based on the what? Masonic numbers, 7, 9, 13, and 19. The Islamic calendar is a lunar calendar. The lunar year is the period in which the moon completes an orbit around the earth and returns to the same position in the sky. You notice it's a lunar calendar for the Mohammedans because they goddamn Ramadan ain't always the same month and day. You notice that? They're watching the moon to do their Ramadan. So that'll let you know that the Islamic calendar is a lunar calendar. The Islamic calendar is based entirely on the phases of the moon. Muslims begin their calendar at the day and year, July 16th, 622 AD by the Gregorian calendar, when Mustafa Muhammad al-Amin, the Arabian prophet, 570 AD to 632 AD, fled from Mecca, one city, to Medina, another city, that is 90 miles north of Mecca by coastal highway. There are 12 lunar months of alternate 30 and 29 days, making the year only 354 days long. So the months move backward through all the seasons and complete a cycle every 32 and a half years. Why are you telling us that? Because you have the Egyptians. Egyptians deal with solar, okay, 364 and a half to 365 days. Babylonian deals with the lunar solar, 360 days. Jewish, lunar solar, 353 days to 355 in a common year, and 383 to 385 in a leap year. The Greek deals with the lunar solar, 354 days. The Roman originally had 306 days before the Julian calendar. The Mohammedan lunar day, lunar solar, or lunar, just straight lunar, 354 days. Now, this is a lot. And we're all stuck in these religious fucking calendars. What's that shit? Ecclesiastes? Ecclesiastes, Zena? Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1. What did it say? There's a time and a place for everything under the sun. You will find the very word time 30 times in this third chapter in Ecclesiastes. 30 times you'll find time. Third chapter, 30 plus 3 equals 33. This is our study. The book of Ecclesiastes. The title of the teacher or speaker of this book is called Koheleth or Koheleth, one who advises the assembly. The master teacher, preacher. The Greek translation of the word Ecclesiastes for Ecclesiastes. Now, question, who is this master teacher? The Grand Master himself, Solomon, boom. That's the master teacher, Solomon, son of King David, Solomon. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king of Jerusalem. The Holy Bible, Ecclesiastes 7, chapter 7, verse 23. All this have I proved by wisdom. I said I will be wise, but it was far from me. Listen, Masons are always on time. My time is my life, and life is what I live. I will be on time. My life depends on time. Let's do it again. Masons are always on time. My time is my life, and life is what I live. I will be on time. My life depends on time. And if you go to the Holy Bible, Ecclesiastes, whatever the fuck, Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verse 12 through 13. For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly
90 seconds.
This 13, this wisdom have I seen also under the sun, and it seemed great unto me. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 1. Who is as the wise man, and who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the boldness of his face shall be changed. Here's another one for y'all. A Masonic
60
brother
seconds.
always keep his word, his bond. My given word is my bond, and my bond is my life, and I would rather give my life than for my word to fail. Damn. I would rather give my life than for my word to fail. Question. Newly initiated, how do you stand? Answer. A new made man. I ask the question again. Newly initiated, how do you stand? Answer. What's the answer?
A new made man.
A new made man. Let me do it again. Question.
10 seconds.
Newly initiated, how do you stand?
A new made man.
A new made man. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Hebrews chapter 1, verse 3. Who being the brightest of his glory and the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high. Got another one for you. A man is made by the word, the words that come out of his mouth. A Masonic man is a man of his word, is in fact a man of the word. You like that, Tammuz?
Yeah, that's strong.
A man, let me do it again for you. A man is made by the word, the words that come out of his mouth. A Masonic man is a man of his word, is in fact a man of the word. Ooh, that shit hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why it mentions the word in that scripture I just read. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 3. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man do not live by bread only, but by what? Every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord doeth man live. Okay? Not by the dollar, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of man. Not by the dough, the bread. Luke chapter 4, verse 4. And Jesus answered him, saying, it is written that man shall not live by what? Bread alone, but by every what? Word of God. There it is. So this is why he's saying a man is made of the word, the words that come out of his mouth. A Masonic man is a man of his word, is in fact a man of the word. That's some powerful shit there. And I must tell you, Tammuz, so far, you are certainly a man of your word. Oh. You must be the word, brother. You ain't missed a Saturday or Sunday, motherfucker. Zena?
I was here thinking about that scripture you was just reading about the bread and the word.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is when Jesus had made a statement somewhere in there, he said Moses gave you not that bread from heaven. So basically he said he gave you not that wisdom, that the words from heaven wasn't the words from heaven. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what did he give them if it wasn't from above? You know what I'm saying? What words did he give them? That bread. Okay.
Zena, can you find that verse and go up a little bit? And let's hear that part that you're talking about. So he get to man cannot live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds about. Can you find it?
Oh, that verse? Okay. Let me find it. I was just mentioning how he was saying that Moses gave him not that bread from above, from heaven. Where you at, Don? I don't know where you at. I was just paraphrasing. What scripture?
It's mentioned twice so far in the Bible about the word of man or the word of God, and man's word is his bond. So I know I've just read it where I think it's Luke, but he says it in Luke. Jesus says it in another motherfucker says it in another book. Because Neff said King Yellow's not so much. Yeah, well, he's an R&B singer, Neff. You know how that shit go. Some R&B singers are flaky. A man is oh, my bad. It's Deuteronomy, Zena. So yeah, it's in Deuteronomy 8:3, and it's also in Luke chapter 4, verse 4. So that's where you got to go, to Luke chapter 4, verse 3. And Jesus answered him, saying, it is written that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of God. So if you're saying there's a verse before that, that's the one you're talking about. It's in Luke. And in Deuteronomy, let's see, Don Nicoleone, let's figure this thing out. So in Deuteronomy,
yeah, I didn't say it was verse before that. I was just throwing out the fact that how religious people, depend on Moses, because as far as the word of life that came from him, he wrote the first 5 books. But Jesus said what Moses gave you was not the word, the bread of from heaven.
Oh, that's
it
what
was.
Jesus
So basically,
said.
I'm saying, yeah, he told him that the word there, what Moses gave you was not.
I like this nigga.
So that's like, whoa, you
they don't be
the
listening
whole
to
Old
Jesus
Testament.
though. Yeah, they don't listen to Jesus. Christians don't fucking abide by Jesus. They don't listen to Jesus. They listen to everybody but Jesus. And you do. Because you said Jesus told them motherfuckers, what Jesus said? Moses ain't the word? The fuck?
Moses ain't the He said, I'm here it is. I don't know if this King James. John 6:32. He told him, he said, trying to get to he said, then Jesus said unto them, verily, verily I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father gives you the true bread from heaven. So he came with that true bread. Yeah.
He was saying, who was he saying that to? The Jews? He had to have been telling the Jews that shit. Yeah, because he didn't fuck with you. He wasn't telling his disciples. His disciples don't know nothing. So the disciples weren't Jews. They weren't Pharisees. They weren't nobody but some goddamn niggas that like to go fishing. So he had to have been saying that to the Jews. Because, the Jews, because I remember in an argument with the Jews, he kept saying like shit like, nigga, before Abraham, I was. And I ain't here to change the law or to something. He just battling, just going back and forth with these motherfuckers. So he was talking to the Jews right there. He was a bad motherfucker. Nigga said, before Abraham, I was, nigga. The fuck? So that bread Moses got ain't better than the bread my father got for you, motherfucker. Bad now. Get off Moses' dick. You're gonna miss it. Wow. Yeah, that's the Jews. Yeah. That's some retarded ass Jews, man. And then of course when he dies, they put what? The king of Jews. They finally want to make him a Jew and shit, right? Trying to claim Jesus as their own and shit. Anyway, Jesus said, nigga, you seek to kill me. You are of your father, the devil, nigga. Jews tried to claim him after they killed his ass. That's typical, right? The Holy Bible, Hebrews chapter 7, verse 28. Damn, I'm burning it. For the law maketh men high priests, which have infirmity, but the word of the oath which was since the law maketh the Son, who is consecrated forevermore. What the fuck that saying? The word of the oath, baby. Now we about to go into the Melchizedekian priesthood. I might leave that for another day. Y'all want to go into the Melchizedekian priesthood? You want to go into the Melchizedek? You like Melchizedek, don't you, Zena? Everybody like Melchizedek, don't they? We don't even know this nigga like that, but everybody like that motherfucker. I like Melchizedek. I like Melchizedek. Yeah. Everybody want to seek that order Melchizedek, though. I tell you that much. The Melchizedekian priesthood, our true master. Melchi, Melchi, means king. But it's the same Hebrew root letters as an angel, messenger. So the same as the last book of what is called the First Testament. The last book of that First Testament is Malachi, my angel. They wish to know his secrets. Malachi, chapter 4, verse 2, of the Son of Righteousness. Note it's S-U-N, Son, and not S-O-N, of the second part of his name, which makes it a compound word. Melchi, Zedek, which is Zodok or Zadok. And it means what? Justice and or righteous. So his name means angel of justice or righteousness. He was in fact an angel and the head of the Athanim, which means thrones. And he was over both seraphim and cherubim. He moved through the Holy Bible and the Noble Quran. He is not Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ is not Melchizedek. In fact, he made Jesus Christ a high priest of justice. So the name Jesus can mean justice. According to the Nelson King James Study Bible on page 1922 and 1923, you can tell that even though the commentator assuredly states that Melchizedek was a king in Canaan, he barely mentions that he was a king in Salem because he is not familiar with Melchizedek, the commentator. So the commentator attempts to minimize Melchizedek's importance. However, as you can see, he cannot. So if you read it in the commentary of Nelson King James Version, this commentary for Hebrews chapter 7, verse 1 through 3, and chapter 7, verse 4 through 10, this is what it says about Melchizedek. Without father, without mother. Melchizedek is without parents. Only in that they are unknown. He is without descent. And that is his genealogy has not been preserved. Genealogy was essential to a priest, for under the Levitical system, one could not serve if he could not prove his pedigree. You go to Ezra, chapter 2, verse 62, and Nehemiah, chapter 7, verse 64, to tell you that. Anyway, but Melchizedek had no papers. Further, he is without beginning and ending due to the Hebrew Testament, never mentioning his birth and death. The author explicitly states his point when he declares that Melchizedek is made like or resembles the Son, S-O-N, of God. But has the author taken too much liberty with his typology? No. For Lord Yahayu himself first made the similar connection in Psalms 110, verse 4. What you got, Zena?
Don, you want to catch that, what you were saying about the no genealogy, because you said go to Ezra 2 and 62. I went there.
Ezra verse 2, verse 62.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to read this. The only reason I'm reading this because I know Melchizedek is the high priest, right, of the order, right? I'm going to read it, though. But it says...
You know, there's a lot of high priests of the order of Melchizedek. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm going to read... Okay, it says...
Jesus was made a high priest of the order of Melchizedek, a lot of them. But go ahead, I'm listening.
These sought their register among those that were reckoned by genealogy, but they were not found. Therefore, were they as polluted, put from the priesthood. They was put from the priesthood because they didn't have any genealogy. But
so the guy that wrote the Nelson version, listen, the guy that wrote the Nelson version used that verse to say that Melchizedek is not who the fuck y'all think he is, because he has no record. So that's what Dr. York is saying in that Nelson King James version in the niggas commentary part.
Gotcha.
Right. So he used that verse. Yeah. Yeah, he used that verse in the commentary, Ezra chapter 2 verse 6 and Nehemiah 7 verse 64. So and then he says that Melchizedek had no papers. Further, he is without beginning and ending due to the Hebrew Testament, never mentioning his birth and death. The author explicitly states his point when he declares that Melchizedek is made like or resemble the S1E of God. You see, he's shrinking Melchizedek. But then he says, but has the author taken too much liberty with his typology? No, for Lord Yahayu himself first made the similar connection in Psalms chapter 110 verse 4, where it says, thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he telling the Nelson nigga, motherfucker, so what the fuck are you talking about? Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. Then he said, and that's end quote. Some understand these verses in Hebrews to suggest that Melchizedek was a theophany, Theophany, which means what? An appearance of Christ himself. That's why everybody got them both confused. Even in Revelation, it said, and I saw a lamb as if it had been slain, and they want to call Jesus a lamb as well. So they figured it was Jesus' crucifixion in Revelation. But it said, and it looked as if it had been slain. According to Christians, Jesus was slain. The lamb was crucified. So in Revelations, it said, and I saw a lamb, and it looked as if it had been slain. Anyway, so yeah, so Hebrews suggests that Melchizedek, to understand the verses in Hebrews to suggest that Melchizedek was a theophany, an appearance of Christ himself, or according to the American Heritage Dictionary, an appearance of a God to a human being, right? A divine manifestation, rather than a historical king at Salem. So the Nelson dude, King James Nelson version, didn't want to place him as a king of Salem. So he put him in the church, in the temple. That's why Ezra and all that shit popped up. And his commentary. Rather than a historical king at Salem. Because remember, we know Melchizedek as the king of Salem. Christians and all the rest of them motherfuckers that follow King James and Nelson versions and all these commentaries is that this motherfucker is basically kind of like a son of God, but not really ish. Neither Hebrews nor Genesis, however, supports that view. Even in Hebrews, such phrases is made like unto the Son of God and after the order of Melchizedek indicate a clear distinction between Melchizedek and Christ. The Genesis account provides sufficient historical data to disallow the idea that this is a temporary manifestation. This Melchizedek was a king of a literal city in Canaan. Now check this, but the original name was Cadmon. In Genesis chapter 15, verse 9, they took it out and put Canaan. So this theophany is recognized as the Lord, Yahayu, or is declared within the text to be the Lord, also Yahayu. So in Genesis 16, chapter 16, verse 7 through 13, Genesis 18, verse 1 through 33, Genesis 22, verse 1 through 14, and Exodus chapter 3, verse 2 through 4. Further to argue from etymology that since the name means king of righteousness, Melchizedek is not historical. This is what the guy is saying. He's quoting the Nelson commentary. Melchizedek is not historical, lacks substance. Both historical and archaeological evidence demonstrate that the Jebusite kings of that area used compound names, including Zedek, for their titles. For example, Adonai-Zedek was the Jebusite king of the same city several centuries later. Joshua chapter 10, verse 1, and Joshua chapter 7, verse 4 through 10. Even Abraham, the great patriarch of the Hebrew people, considered Melchizedek enough superior that he tithed to him willingly and humbly of his spoils. So Levi and the entire Levitical priests, which proceeded from Abraham, are inferior to Melchizedek in this priesthood. Even though Abraham was the recipient of the covenant, he is the receiver rather than the bestower of the blessings. Thus, Melchizedek is his better and is certainly superior to Abraham's offspring. That includes Jesus also. So Yeshua, Isa, Jesus was of the seed of David or David or Dawood through Adoniah, or Adonijah, his son by Haggith, of the pure seed, unmixed holy seed of Yehuda or Judah. So he was made a high priest after the order of Melchizedek, as found in Hebrews chapter 6, verse 20. And it says, hither the forerunner is for us entered, even Jesus made a high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. This nigga got to clean up Mr. White Man's bullshit that fed the niggas. Through this order, Yeshua, or Yahuwah, or Yeshua, Isa, Jesus, learned the true name and received all the powers of heaven by using it. He had power over life and death, over the elements, over nature, and over evil. Once he got what Melchizedek shouted, he got into the higher order, man. You feel me? That motherfucker knew all that shit. That's some fire ass shit, right? Yeah, I like that little nigga Jesus. He's pretty. I mean, I love him. Like, for real, I love it. I love the character. Yeah. Got a question? Nope, I don't think there's a question. And it's always fair and will share with the fellow on the square. A square man always stands on the square. And it's so interesting. If you look at the positions of the square, it's ballet. First, their first position in ballet is their third position. And let me see, first, second, third. And third position in ballet is their second position. And that's something. And first position in ballet is their starting position. No, the starting position is first position in ballet. It's all ballet. A square man always stands on the square. So the starting position is like first position in ballet. The first position in Mason is the third position with your right foot out. And the second position is your left foot in third position. And the third position in Masonic is your first position in ballet. This is some interesting shit. That's how you stand, brothers.
This is interesting.
Yeah, so if you know first position,
wow.
Second position, third position, using your right leg and then using your left leg. Those are also the positions in and Masonic and ballet. So, and of course, everything ends and begins with plie. These niggas do it. That's how they stand. So a fellow brother, what it say? A square man always stands on the square. So it actually show you how to fucking stand. Even in public, even in a grocery store, motherfucker, how to stand. And it's always fair. Hold on, let me do it again. A square man always stands on the square and is always fair and will share with a fellow on the square. A good man never walks alone. A square man takes care of his own. Freemasons. All EA, that's all of us here, must understand this. Hebrews chapter 6:20. I am your brother and keeper. You are my brother and keeper. Hebrews chapter 6:20. Whither the forerunner is for us, entered, even Jesus, made in high priest forever, after the order of Melchizedek. I think that's what this shit is all about, Zena. All the different lodges, the Blue Lodge, the Red Lodge, Scottish Rites, the Yorks, the Elks, the Shriners, the Knights of Templar. You know what I'm saying? All of that is leading up into the order of Melchizedek. You know what I'm saying? The order of Astara, all that shit. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, I'm going to read this to y'all. It is long as a motherfucker, but I have to read this because it's more in depth than the intro that Don did for the Man of the Hour. And what I got? Oh, I got a long time. Shit. Y'all ain't going to sleep, is you? Is it not time for you cats?
Nope.
I'm up off that ballet thing. You just glided by like you didn't say that shit. What? The fuck? Oh my God.
Yeah, man. That's wild, right?
Oh, that is. It's just, what? Oh my God.
And of course, ballet is like all about perfection and grace and poise and
precision.
All that fucking shit. Uh-huh. Yep. That shit, they're disciplined like a motherfucker too.
I said precision.
And of course, hell, when I took goddamn Tang Sao Do karate, all that shit was ballet. Everything. It was all ballet. Motherfucker said, "You sure you don't take karate?" I said, "Nigga, I take ballet after this." Jeez. and then Doc started going back into Tai Chi. So he sent me a video and I noticed, man, I was like, man, you start paying attention. All that shit is like, damn, these niggas in plie. You know what I'm saying? Even in Tai Chi, they all in plie and, you know what I'm saying? Keeping their balance. All that shit. Then boom, cross over to masonry. You're dealing with the compass and the square. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with all this. Yeah. Hell yeah, all this shit. Then get with Dr. York. All he talk about is balance. You know what I'm saying? You got to balance the both. You got to balance agreeable and disagreeable. You got to balance. You got to fucking keep the shit in the center. Don't swing left or right. Stay in the center. Like equilibrium is off and shit. Yeah. That shit there is like, it's as above, so below like a motherfucker. That's why not enough people wants to be free, though. Only so. Because it takes a lot. It takes a lot, man. It takes a lot of discipline down there. It takes a lot of checking the self. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like Dr. York said, man, I can't give you the secrets until you're ready. And you'll know when you're ready when you become your own judge. That's a bad statement there.
It's that diligence you're talking about too.
Yep, you keep squaring off. You keep, taking yourself to court and judging yourself. Yeah. You got to keep perfecting and correcting yourself. What's one of his sayings? When does a man become a man? When he learns from his mistakes and hurries to correct them. That's all of us. But first we gotta learn. We gotta know what the fuck a mistake is.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? If it is a mistake,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Then learn to correct it. Then we gotta be taught how to correct that shit. And this a bitch. This is a lot of fucking work, right? Hurry to correct them. When does a man become a man? When he learns from his mistakes and hurries to correct them. That's what it is. So one, you have to learn from your mistake, and then you have to hurry to correct it. So, because once you learn, you know, when you learn something, man, you've already made the correction. Yeah, and you already made the correction. That's simple. Some people go without learning. And I heard somebody say, when you stop learning is when you start dying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So learning is part of life. Yeah. Studying the life of you, life of yourself. So motherfucker, it's a beautiful thing though, man.
Now you know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's beautiful. With these lessons, the book of Hebrews written by Apollos and James, known in time past as Samson, which is Apollos, and Jacob as James, your fellow brothers in this great brotherhood, of which also belonged Enoch, Moses, Adoniah, Noah, David, Jesus, Abraham, Solomon, Muhammad, all the pharaohs of Egypt, all the Malek of Sumeria, and many more great persons that traveled this earth were on the square. They killed Adoniah. They killed that motherfucker. Hell, they basically killed all these niggas, man. Muhammad was poisoned. Nah, they didn't kill Noah. Noah died at old age. Anyway, what is the meaning of entered? Like the word entered apprentice, he's got to give you the definition from American Heritage Dictionary. Entered means to come or go into, to penetrate, pierce, to introduce, insert, to become a participant, member, or part of, join, be. To gain admission to a school, for example. 5, to cause to become a participant, member, or part of, enroll. It comes from the Middle English entrin, from Old French intrier, from Latin intriere, from entry, INTR, inside. What did you enter? The world's oldest and most benevolent school of thought by way of an ancient order originally called Albania, the builders. It is worldwide everywhere under the blue skies. The earth is our temple, church, mosque, synagogue, lodge. The blue sky is our canopy, ceiling. You, my brother, have entered God's great house, the blue house. The blue is symbolic of the sky above. And the very name of earth below, the blue planet, was built for us to take care of. It is our holy temple. You were given dominion over it all. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. It was given to us to rule. Well, how did that turn out? How the fuck did that turn out, goddammit? The fuck? What is the meaning of apprentice? According to the American Heritage Dictionary, apprentice means one bound by legal agreement to work for another for a specific amount of time in return for instructions in a trade, an art, or a business. Apprentice, a beginner, a learner. It comes from the Middle English, apprentice. From Old French, apprentice. From Vulgar Latin, apprentice. From apprentice, alteration of Latin, apprehensus. Past participle of apprehendery. Apprehender. Yeah, to siege. Ah, interesting. So what are your instructions? Answer. To learn and teach the truth and take good men and make them better. Let's do it again. What are your instructions? I'll do it again. Yeah, I'll answer that. What are your instructions? To learn and teach the truth and take good men and make them better. What are your instructions?
To learn and teach the truth and take good men and make them better.
All right. Make good men and make them better. We tried that, didn't we, Zena? It didn't work. Tried that shit, it didn't work, so we decided just to take ourselves and make ourselves better. Tried that, it didn't work. How did that work out for you, Zena? How did that work out for you, Dr. Yo? Not as good at all, did it? That's a motherfucker, man. That's when they start making up sayings like, well, you can't teach an old dog a goddamn thing. How about that? Yeah, man, once you goddamn, season in your goddamn sin, ain't nothing we could do about it.
Seasoned in your sin?
You got seasoned in your sins. The fuck? If a man seasoned in his sins, he just keeps sinning. Motherfucker don't even stop to think.
Cast iron skillet season.
Say what?
I said cast iron skillet
over and over again. Yeah, he keep the same sins. He don't add more sins when he get older. He said, I'm just gonna keep the 7 sins I got. Need no more. And when he gets sick, he stops sinning. You notice that shit? Ask a sick man on his deathbed, you want some pussy? I just want to get better. I just want to get better. I just want to get better. You want some liquor? I just want to get better. I just want to get better. So you can be healthier sinning. No one sins sick, I tell you that much, right? You ain't even thinking about fucking when you're sick, ain't it right now? You been sick and thinking about fucking? Shit. Been sick and thinking about drinking? Shit. Somebody thinking about doing no sin when they sick. All they're thinking about is, please don't let me die. And if you let me live through this shit, I will never do this shit again. Boom. They live through it. They're released from the hospital. They go through some rehab type shit. Eventually, they back sinning again once they are completely on their feet. Ain't that something? Beautiful. Go right back to it. I found out that Boosie, I don't know who told me this shit about Boosie, right? That this motherfucker health was so bad. He had diabetes out the ass. He had all types of fucked up shit. Guess what this nigga did? He stopped drinking. He stopped doing all that hard ass drugs now. He changed his diet. He started exercising. The shit went away. Now, the person that told me about Boosie is in Boosie camp. And this is a female. And she said to me, she said now his health got worse. He back fucking eating all the wrong shit. He don't exercise. He back doing hard drugs and soft drugs and liquor and all that shit. And his health is failing once again.
Yeah, you can see it in his face.
Yeah, so once he got cured himself of the sin, then he went and sinned again. Yeah.
See?
Yeah. Yeah. And that said makes sense. He used to look sick, mouth always white. Yeah. Yeah, he fought. He fought for his life and got it back and now destroying it once again. Yep. Yep. Cured itself from all that sickness and disease, man, just by not just having a whole bunch of what I ain't gonna do on the list. You know what I'm saying? On that to-do list, on that to not to-do list. Yep, that's what he focused on. And now, nigga back on and popping. She said his diabetes done came back. And it looks like he doesn't have the will to change, even though he has the instructions because he did it before. You know what I'm saying? Which means if you did it before, nigga, you can do it again. But it looks like he don't even want to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nigga, we talking about the rapper Boosie, nigga. Self-guided. Lil Boosie, nigga. This nigga talking about George Clinton and them. That Boosie. Stay out of that shit. Oh, man. All right. So, what are your instructions? To learn and teach the truth and take good men and make them better. We live by 5 principles. We're going to redo the 5 principles next Sunday, but I'm going to give it to us now. You ready? Because we can take our time and discuss our 5 principles with one another. Okay? Mm-hmm. Here are the 5 principles of Freemasonry. 1, when the necessities of a brother call for my aid and support, I will be ever ready to lend him such assistance to save him from sinking as may not be detrimental to myself and connections if I find him worthy thereof. See, you got to find a motherfucker worthy first. So if you save it, so what it's saying here is, I'll help a motherfucker, but if I find myself sinking and may cause my detrimental to myself and my connections, shit, first I got to find the motherfucker worthy of saving. I'll read it again. When the necessities of a brother call for my aid and support, I will be ever ready to lend him such assistance to save him from seeking, as may not be detrimental to myself and connections if I find him worthy thereof. So what's the first thing we got to find? We need to make sure if the motherfucker is worthy. After we make sure the motherfucker is worthy of saving, we got to make sure that motherfucker ain't drowning us. Okay? Which happens to 99% of y'all. Your life goes down the fucking drain trying to save somebody else's. And you don't have enough fucking sense to cut them the fuck out, off. Notice that it said detrimental to myself and connections. Do you know motherfuckers will leave you based on the fact that you are drowning trying to save somebody else? All your connections are gone? You know what I'm saying? Because you're using your connections to help this motherfucker. That is detrimental to you and your connections. And the first ones to leave you, because you're drowning now, is your connections that you used to vouch for this motherfucker, whether it's worthy or not. So you have to have discernment of spirits. You have to be able to first make sure if this motherfucker worthy of saving. You know what I'm saying? And if you decide to save them, you need to pay attention to yourself. Are you drowning? Are you worried about this motherfucker now? Is it hard? Because to be honest with y'all motherfuckers, it's easy to save a nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to save a motherfucker. It's really easy, right? What makes it hard is when you saving the wrong motherfucker. It bleeds into your world. So those are tell signs right there. If it's fucking you up in your connections, that was the wrong motherfucker to save. At that point, you need to let go and let God. Fuck that. You're going to have to keep it pushing. They're not worthy. And the universe will show you that shit. I got my ass kicked because I'm thinking I can save everybody. And the universe is kicking my fucking ass. I'm drowning. And that's when you realize if you pay attention to the universe in your world and theirs, the universe is telling your ass, don't save this motherfucker, you dumbass. And if you can read the universe correctly based on your life, guess what it's saying? We don't like that motherfucker. That's what the universe is trying to tell you. God or whoever the fuck. God does not favor that motherfucker. And you're in the way. Yeah, it'll tell you that. So for real, man, you walk around knowing a lot of shit, man. You'll walk around knowing that God hates your motherfucking ass. You can actually tell a motherfucker that. How you know God hates me? Because every time I help your ass, I catch hell. So that means God is saying, motherfucker, let that motherfucker drown. You hear me? Because I'm catching it. So that means the universe, whoever the fuck, whatever it is, don't like that motherfucker. Here your ass, the only motherfucker is, and you about to catch it right with their ass. So, 5 principles of Freemasonry. When the necessities of a brother call for my aid and support, I will be ever ready to lend him some assistance to save him from sinking, as may not be detrimental to myself and connections, if I find him worthy thereof. Number 2, indolence shall not cause my footsteps to halt, nor wrath turn them aside. But forgetting every selfish consideration, I will be ever swift of foot to serve, help, and execute benevolence to a fellow creature in distress, and more particularly to a brother Freemason Shriner. Indolence. Find out what. Great day, Twain. Welcome back, boo. Find out what indolence fucking means. You know what indolence means? Zena, you smart little chick. It means avoidance of activity or laziness. Yeah. So indolence shall not cause my footsteps to halt, nor wrath turn them aside. But forgetting every selfish consideration, I will be ever swift of foot to serve, help, and execute benevolence to a fellow creature in distress, and more particularly to a brother Freemason or Shriner. 3, these are the 5 principles of Freemasonry. 3, when I offer up my ejaculation to the Almighty, a brother's welfare, I will remember as my own. Let me look up ejaculation. The fuck? Is that jack the fuck off? Ejaculation. Maybe it means something else. Maybe I'm just a sick, twisted bitch. Ejaculation. Maybe I'm missing this shit. Goddamn, this some faggot ass shit. Yeah, ejaculation simply means to release sperm cells, man, and seminal plasma from the male reproductive system. Must not be no other.
I have here after flowing or shooting out, a darting or casting forth of fluid, of utterances. In 1620, it says of utterances and exclamation. From French, ejaculation.
So when I offer up my ejaculation to the Almighty, a brother's welfare, I will remember as my own. For as the voices of babes and suckling ascend to the throne of grace, so most assuredly will the breathing of a fervent heart arise to the mansions of bliss, as our prayers are certainly required of each other. Thank you for having the right definition. It means what? To voice out?
Of utterances and exclamations.
Okay. Woo!
Exclamation, yeah.
Woo! I about to say, man, this is some homo shit. I'm done reading this. Okay, so ejaculation means of utterance, to speak out. Okay, so now let me try to do it again. When I offer up my ejaculation to the Almighty, a brother's welfare. So what is that saying? Like, I'm going to pray for you, brother, so let me speak to the Almighty about your air.
Another word it uses is exclaim, which also means to cry out, to speak with vehement.
Right.
Yeah, to make a loud outcry. Yeah.
Okay. Damn. So, brothers, y'all ejaculating at the bottom. You need to ejaculate up at the top. You need to cry out.
Come on.
You need to exclaim.
Come on.
You need to get that shit out, shot. The fuck is wrong? I always thinking you got to release something down there, motherfucker. That shit up there. You need to get that shit out. When I offer up my ejaculation to the Almighty, a brother's welfare, I will remember as my own. For as the voices of babes and suckling ascend to the throne of grace, so most assuredly will the breathing of a fervent heart arise to the mansions of bliss, as our prayers are certainly required of each other. Pray for each other. That's what it's saying. So this is the 5 principles of Freemason. Number 3 is, pray for your own kind. Pray for your brother, man. Don't ejaculate in the bitch, man. Ejaculate to God. Okay? So if a brother call you and shit and be like, I need some help, this and the third, could you pray for me? You be like, I'll wait till my wife get home. That is not what you do. Okay? You're not going to ejaculate in her. You're going to ejaculate outward to Jesus, to the Almighty or somebody. You're going to say a little ejaculation for him or her. Say a little ejaculation for me. Yeah, got to ejaculate for me. New word there. I'm going to start using that word now, Zena. I'm going to be like, oh my God. Guess who I ejaculated with yesterday? I'm like, who? I'm like, my mom. I ejaculated with my mom. We was on the phone. I ejaculated with her, and we was talking. And ejaculate means to talk, motherfucker, to speak,
yeah,
to
but you
pray.
gotta do it with emphasis and passion. It says crying.
No shit. That's what them niggas be doing at the bottom, don't they? With their little ding-a-ling, they sound like they crying. Got a little. Motherfucker be crying, boy. I be like, man, this motherfucker about to die crying. Sound like death and shit, don't it? Motherfuckers sound like they dying and shit. Yeah, they put a lot of emphasis on that. Thank you, Zena. So you have to do a lot of fucking ejaculation upward. Prayer. This is amazing, man. This is some crazy shit. All right, number 4. A brother's secrets delivered to me such I will keep as I would my own, as betrayed that trust might be doing him the greatest injury he could sustain in this mortal life. Nay, it would be like the villainy of an assassin who lurks in the darkness to stab his adversary when unarmed and least prepared to meet an enemy. So what is it saying here? I've read it all wrong, though. But basically, if brother tell me a secret, I won't fucking betray his ass and use it against him. It'll be like an assassin, a villainy of an assassin. I'm using what you gave me against you. Yeah. And that's something? Yeah, so a brother's secrets delivered to me such I will keep as I would my own, as betrayed that trust might be doing him the greatest injury. Yeah. Number 5, a brother's character. This is the last one. I will support in his absence as I would in his presence. I will not wrongfully revile him myself, nor will I suffer it to be done by others. If in my power to prevent it, lest we forget. A brother's character I will support in his absence, as I would in his presence. So what's that saying? You got my back when we together, have my back when we ain't, when I'm not around, basically. Right?
I'm the same whether you're here or there. I still, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I'm going to stop right there, man. Shit. Then we get into question 5. What is Freemasonry dedicated to? We already know that. Brotherly love, relief, and truth. And then he's going to break all that shit down. And once again, brotherly love, relief, and truth. We are committed and diligently seeking the truth, as you should. Especially man. So that way, nothing but truth will come out your mouth. When you prep a woman, she'll be getting the truth. As long as you're a true seeker of it. You know what I'm talking about now? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I'm seeking the truth too, so. You know what I'm talking about?
Already.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm, shit. I got time to wait on a nigga to get it. He might fuck it up. Feel me? Yeah, man likes to color shit to suit him. Yeah, like the color shit to suit him. So you can't trust this motherfucker. You can't even trust them Mason ass niggas. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the moral of the story, sisters, don't fall for the EAs, FCs, and Master Masons and Shriners and all of them. They all fucked up. They just wore the emblem. That's it. You know what I'm saying? They just like to go to meetings. That's it. They are not squared the fuck off or round off. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm for real. So don't fall for it, though. For real. This is, yeah, don't fall for the medals and the amulets and charms and shit in the outfit. But I ain't gonna lie, though, when Dr. York had them niggas, even the blue house and the red house, like the Shriners and shit, man, if you look at some of them old pictures with Dr. York with them niggas, man, them niggas is healthy. He changed he made their ass clean the fuck up, right? After Dr. York left, all them niggas got sick. Some of them stomach got harder and bigger and shit. They all fucked up. Even the young niggas our age that was in the Masonic Lodge. They all look nasty, Zena, wearing the Masonic outfits. They look fucking disgusting. They look unkept. Yeah. Even the niggas our age. Because back then, our age was in our 20s, and them niggas was Masons. Them motherfuckers looking damn good, niggas our age. You know what I'm saying? But now, look at the motherfuckers at 40 and 50, man. They look nasty, man. Look like a walking fucking disease. You'll see it. You know, next time I see one of their gatherings and they wearing in they fucking outfit, they Masonic outfit is nasty, dingy, faded, raggedy, tight on their ass, all that shit. Tight on them. The letters are faded, all that shit. Man, them niggas look nasty. They look like bombs that somebody found a whole bunch of goddamn Mason outfits and just gave it to homeless motherfuckers. Like, you need something to put on. Throw this shit on. It's boxed up. It's wrinkled, girl. It is so. They look nasty. Hell yeah. Them motherfuckers. You wouldn't even believe these niggas Masons, man. They fucking nasty looking. Fucking disgusting. Them niggas our age and shit. Can you believe more niggas want to join them niggas? You ain't looking at how they wear their clothes. Motherfucker, where is the X chromosome in you, nigga? Look at the nigga clothes. They are unkept. They're not doing this shit here, Zena. That's why we're starting our lodge. I'm starting a lodge.
All right.
Yep, he got it all here. Even how to build the temple, where the pillars go, all that shit. I heard.
You already started it.
You gonna build a lodge? Yeah, yeah. It's all in the book.
We got our health together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we're bound to live and travel in a bigger, better way. Fuck yeah. We passed EA. We on into Supreme Grand Master, man. SGM. Yeah, we passed this. We passed this shit.
Yeah, we did.
Let's go.
Look at that move. Yeah, we did.
I know,
now it's time to look after the women and children. When you're 40, take care of yourselves and. All right, fuck it, that's enough. But anyway, so we'll finish up with the next question. What is a Freemason dedicated to? And we'll start that off. And that's, of course, y'all should already know, brotherly love, relief, and truth. Great day, Quincy. All right, y'all, the man of the hour is up next, and that is the meaning of hidden Freemasonry. The meaning. What did it say? The meaning of the hidden meaning of Freemasonry. The man of the hour, baby. Y'all have an awarding day. Don Nicoleone show is Monday through Friday. Hot Damn Politics on Wednesday. And you already know we'll be forward here. The Son of Man show Sundays, hosted by Don Nicoleone. Secrets Reveal. Y'all have an awarding day. Peace. Radio.
Why do?
Why do?